Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to some Full Metal Daemon Muramasa. Let's have some fun. Finish this scene up. The Golden Dawn? Let's hear it. Yes, sir. That's the name of the plan.
気に食わないかね、ウィロー少々。僕なりに良い名を考えてみたのだが。
You'd prefer something else? I came up with it myself.
いえ、そんなことはありませんよ、プロフェッサー。悪しき過去を断ち、輝かしき未来へとつなぐ一大作戦にふさわしい名です。
Not at all, Professor. It's a fine name. We'll bring an end to this age of darkness and shine a new light upon the world.
そうだろうとも。黄金の夜明け。この言葉を口にするたび、未来の光景が目に浮かぶようではないか。
A new golden dawn. Can you not see that future now, General?
そうですね。
パンツ履いてない少女の下半身が。
The bare skin of a pantsless girl. This guy.
そうですね。それで、クライブ。
We should probably go over the details. Clive?
11月30日、六原幕府の本拠地であるところの不堕落城に勅使を迎え、足利森氏の着尊、国氏への大勝領宣言が行われます。朝廷工作がようやく実ったようで。
On the 30th of November, a ceremony will take place at Fudaraku Castle. Rokuhara's efforts in Kyoto have paid off, and the court agreed to invest Ashikaga Kuniuchi as shogun.
式典には当然、幕閣の要人ほぼ全員が参列します。宿坊、評定衆、万所執事、侍所所持。少なくともこの辺りはまず間違いなく。
All of the shogunate's highest officials will be attending, including the four Kanto generals. This presents an opportunity.
頭は潰せるということだな。だがそれでは目的の半分だ。インパクトが足りない。
We cut off their head.
残り
An
の
excellent
半分につい
strategy,
て
but
どう見込んでいるんだ、クライブ。
will it have the necessary impact? Remember, it's imperative we display our superiority. Are they now? I will see.
満足な成果
It
を。
won't be a problem, General.
式典に合わせて幕軍の主力も不堕落に集結しつつ
The
あり
bulk
ま
of
す。
their Kanto assets are already assembling at the castle.
目的は式典の警護の他に大和国民及び我々に対する威圧、加えて軍全体の士気向上。
Their stated purpose is to provide security for the proceedings, but their true purpose is a symbolic one. They mean to show everyone, both here and abroad, that Rokuhara still stands strong.
要するに六原は森氏の急死で失ったものすべてを宣言式典で取り戻す気でいます。
In other words, they hope to
連中も
regain the
連中なり
credibility they
によく
lost
考えてますね。
when their shogun was killed. It's a solid plan, sir.
そうだな。何事もなければ六原の目算はおおむね成就しただろうからな。しかし申し訳ないが、彼らの入念な準備は全部我々のパーティーのために使わせてもらおう。
Assuming that everything goes as planned, little does Rokuhara know that we'll be crashing their party.
幕府首脳と軍主力が不堕落に集まる。我々は彼らを一撃によって一掃し、この国への支配権を確立する。未来はそう決まったと考えてよいのだな、クライブ・キャノン。
That guy's still going. We'll strike, and with a single blow, we'll eradicate them all. By the day's end, Yamato will be ours. Isn't that right, Clive?
機会は与えられました。間違いなく。あとは努力次第ですよ。
The opportunity's there, sir. We need only make the most of it.
よろしい。普段の努力はワイルドウエストから。いや、そのずっと昔から我々の最も得意とするところだ。成功は約束されている。
And that's what I like to hear. We Americans have been turning opportunities to gold since we landed at Plymouth Rock. If a strong will is all we need, then we've already won.
もちろん。これは天命というものだよ、少々。我々が失敗すれば、世界はやがてブリテンの手に落ちるだろう。だ
Precisely.
が、そんなことはありえないのだ。
This has been preordained, General. If we fail, then soon the whole world will bow to the Queen, and that God will not allow.
なぜなら、全人類を従える権利は唯一神の手にのみ帰する。
For you see,
いかにクイーンが海賊の狩猟まで遡る尊い血脈を誇っておられようと、
God
そ
alone
の
is
権
holy
利を
hell.
犯
This
せるも
guy
の
is
ではな
really
い。
wordy. Is he still going? Okay, he's done. For you see, God alone is King of man on earth. Her Majesty, for all her pirate blood, cannot usurp that title.
おっしゃる通り。エンパイアはすでに十分超え太った。超え太りすぎた。 もういい加減屠殺場に搬送されて解体されてもいい頃合いです。
Well said. The Empire's grown too large, too fat. High time we send it to the slaughterhouse, I say, and let the rest of us split the morsels.
まったくだ。
Here, here.
ん
What's the matter, Colonel?
何かね、キャノン中佐。僕の顔にパンツでもついているかな？
Are there panties on my face? What?
まあ毛網のパンツなら。
I didn't know they made panties out of hair.
それはヒゲだよ。
That's my beard.
失礼ながら少しばかり意外でしてね。教授が我々の理想にそうも共鳴してくださるとは。
Actually, Professor, I was wondering why a man like you would be so dedicated to our cause.
意外かな？確かに僕らゲルマンはブリテンの支配下に置かれる屈辱の歴史の長さにおいて君らアメリカンの足元にも及ばない。まだほんの数年ばかり。
Wait, did he say Gettermann instead of Deutschian? Interesting. Okay, do you find it odd that a German would wish for Britain's downfall? We haven't chafed as long beneath the yoke as you Americans have, true.
だがそれだけに生々しい怒りというものがあってね。
But that just means the memories are fresh.
クライブ。
Clive?
ええ、分かっています。教授、疑うような発言をお許しください。
Sir, I apologize, Professor. I shouldn't doubt your commitment.
いやいや、君の慎重さは美質だよ。
Quite alright, caution is one of your virtues.
しかし、僕はすでに誠意を示してきたのではないかな。オデッサ機関を通じて英国軍に囚われ酷使されている我が同胞、世界に誇るドイチュス・テヒニカーと連絡を取り、
I believe I've proven myself thanks to my contacts in the Odessa Foundation. You've had first pick of the latest hardware my countrymen, the great Deutsche Technica, have been developing for the Queen. Under duress, I might add.
数々の最新兵器、分けてもガゼットがヤマトへ運び込まれるよう仕向けた。まあ、運用試験の適地について少々事実とは違う報告をさせただけのことだがね。
Peacemaker in particular was only assigned to this theater because my comrades bent the truth about ideal test conditions.
この程度の助力では
Have I
不
not
足だ
earned
っ
my
たか
place?
な。
そんなことは決してありません。ウォルフ教
Oh,
授。
please, Professor.
あなたは私にとって最大の恩人の一人ですとも。
You know you have. I'll never forget the debt I owe you.
そう言ってもらえると安心できるよ、フロイント。ならば君たちが悲願を果たした暁には我が祖国への支援を期待しても良いのだろうね。
I'm glad to hear that, my friend. Now, so my countrymen can count on you and your support once it's done?
恩と友義にかけて必ずや。我が故郷の未来を盤石なものとするためにも教授の祖国との協調は必要不可欠です。
You have my word, we stand together. It's the only way to ensure our freedom remains secure.
そうだろ、キャノン中佐。
Isn't that right, Colonel?
全くその通りです、閣下。
Absolutely, sir.
11月29日は大英連邦の終焉の始まりであり、我ら両国の友好の始まりでもあるわけだな。
Wonderful. Then let the 29th of November be the day that our two nations set the blaze which consumed the British Empire.
ね
Yes, Professor.
29日
29th?
黄金の夜明け作戦の決行は宣言式典の前日を予定しています。
Operation Golden Dawn will take place the day before the ceremony, sir.
当日を避けた理由は
Why not the day of?
大和国民の微妙な心理に配慮した結果です。教授、
There were concerns about the psychological impact. Professor, perhaps you could explain?
提案した僕から説明しよう。ヤマトの人々は無論六原を嫌ってやまぬわけであるが、
Of course, it was my idea. You see, General, while it's true most Yamatoans hate Rokuhara, every Yamatoan loves a festival.
それはそれとして盛大な式典が行われれば鎌倉市中はフェスティバルになるし、その気分は各地にも伝播する。
The investment will be a
な
grand
んとなく
occasion.
おめでたい気分になるわ
That
け
means
だ。
an atmosphere of celebration in Kamakura, and where Kamakura goes, Yamato follows. Oh.
そこへ我々が水をかければ それも北極海直送の氷水をぶっかけたりすればわかるだろ少々。
If we douse their
大和
excitement with
国民
water,
は我々に怒りを抱くかもしれない。
ice water pulled from the Arctic itself, what will happen? Perhaps they'll turn against us.
巨悪の粉砕をもって国民の支持を勝ち取る目論みはついえ、作戦のすべてが無意味どころか逆効果になってしまう恐れがあるのだよ。
That would be a disaster for the plan, which requires the people of Yamato welcome you as their
教
savior.
授からそうご意見をいただき、作戦を1日前倒しにしました。いくつか無理は生じてしまいますが、まあ許容範囲の内側です。
The professor thought we should move it up a day. This does introduce complications, but it's nothing we can't handle.
なるほど。いや、教授の言われることはもっともです。
I see. Well, I'm sure the professor's right.
中佐、標的はそれまでにフダラク城へ集結を終えているのだな。
How certain are we that our targets will be there,
そう
though?
ですね。ほぼ。
Yes, or enough that'll make no difference.
なら問題はない。その予定に従って進めてくれ。
Proceed as you see fit.
了解です。閣下。
Thank you, sir.
では僕はそろそろ失礼させていただこう。パンツ禁断症状が出始めたようなのでね。
Now, if that's settled, I should be going. I'm starting to experience panty withdrawal.
また後ほど。
Gentlemen,
はい、お疲れ様です、教授。
thank you for your time, Professor. Strange man.
彼を疑うのか、クライブ。
You don't trust him, Clive?
信用は置けませんね。まったく。
Not one bit.
私は必ずしもそうとは思わないが。
It's not that I don't see where you're coming from. He does not seem like a reliable person. I totally understand being like, wow, this guy's really sus.
同じ境遇というだけで同情しすぎですよ、あなたは。
You
故
put too
郷の
much
同
faith
胞
in
の
our
中に
shared
さえ
circumstances,
大英
sir.
連邦に仲間を売る裏切り者が幾人もいたことをお忘れなく。
Please don't forget how our own countrymen betrayed us in the Fourth Revolution.
いや、我々すら始末に負えない同胞、対局を理解せず暴発ばかりしたがる過激分子どもをガバナーゼネラルに売って信用を得てきたではありませんか。
You know how easy it is, don't we? Or didn't we earn our own radicals? Didn't we turn our own radicals in? Those we couldn't see the big picture to earn Britain's trust?
彼が同じことをする。
Think he'll do the same?
いえ、さすがにその点は徹底的に洗いました。
No, no.
大英連邦との接点は見当たりませんでしたよ。
I made sure he wasn't linked to agents of the crown.
ただ不可解な部分も多いのです。
So there's
で
too
きれ
much we
ば
don't
作
know.
戦前にそこのところをはっきりさせたかったんですがね。
I was hoping to fill in the blanks before the operation.
まあいいさ。大英連邦の患者ではないというだけでも最低限の安心はできる。
Well, at least he's not a Queensman. We'll have to just be satisfied with that.
今はそれで満足しよう。いつだって万全は望めないものだし。
It'd be foolish to
そ
waste
れ
this
を理由
opportunity
に好
for
機
a
を
few
逃すのは愚かしいことだ。
unanswered questions. Yeah, but it'd be even more foolish to fail the operation and die because of a few unanswered questions.
はい。
Sir?
ところでクライブ、
By the way,
何
Clive,
ですか。
パンツ禁断症状ってなんだ？
what the devil is panty withdrawal? Good question. I don't know either. This guy's crazy.
そいつを調べろってご命令だけはお断りしますよ、閣下。
Sir, that's one question I don't need answered. I couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah. Although I was expecting it, I'm a little surprised by how suddenly it comes.
クライブ・キャノン中佐だ。進駐軍総司令部参謀第2部に属している。
Lieutenant Colonel Clive Cannon, Headquarters 2nd Division.
港影明です。
Minato Kageaki. The man who knocks and then enters without waiting has the classic Anglo-Saxon coloring, though he's not as strikingly featured as the man I fought on Enoshima. His is a face that could get lost in a crowd with nothing to hint at any particular strength, external or otherwise. I place him approximately a decade my senior, perhaps a little more. He shakes my hand perfunctorily, and then casually takes the only chair. The soldier who came with him takes position at his back, rifle pointed at the ceiling. I seat myself on the cot and
何
wait.
か不自由していることはないかな。
Anything I can do for you?
不自由。
まあ、要望と言い換えてもいいが。あるだろ？食事はパンよりライスにしてくれとか、畳が欲しいとか、藤山が見たいとか、 芸者ガールを呼べとか。
Would you like rice instead of bread? Nice tatami mats, maybe? Maybe I can arrange a view of Mount Fuji or get some geisha girls to serve you?
そうですね。
I suppose there is one thing.
遠慮なくどうぞ。
Don't be
生
shy.
まれた国が他国軍の進駐を受け、しかも自分の身柄はその軍に囚われているのです。食事にも芸者にも格別不満はありませんが、この不自由からは願わくば解放されたいもの。
Well, as it so happens, I'm currently an unwilling guest of the army which has invaded my home, and I'd greatly appreciate it if this situation could be rectified with all haste.
驚いたな。
Following a brief silence, the colonel smiles.
君はそんな率直な物言いを好むのか？報告から受けていた印象といささか違うな。
You're not exactly what I was expecting. She led me to believe you weren't so blunt.
時と場合によります。領袖という環境は婉曲な性質を養うに適切であるとは言えません。
It depends. Prison is not the best environment for cultivating tact, Colonel. Oh.
自制心を育むにも、誰かに解虐を口にする機会は今の自分には得難いもので、なかなか抑えが効きません。
I've had few chances to engage in humor recently. The urge is quite irresistible. This time I appear to have struck him speechless. After a moment he tries to force a smile, and it collapses into a quivering of the lips, which he covers with one hand. After a moment more, he begins to laugh, sincerely if I were to guess.
そうだ、言ってたな、あのマタハリ。かなりの努力を払って精密に観察するなら、やたらと愉快な人でもありますとか。
Come to think of it, Matahari did say you'd be good for a lark if I gave you a chance.
結構だ。いや、大いに結構だよ。
I like you.
俺にできる範囲で取り計らおうじゃないか。
I'll do what I can.
自由か。与えよう。差し当たっては君一人分。
You can have your freedom
だ
and in
が
time
ゆくゆ
soak
く
in your
は
home.
君の故国の分も。ミスター港。
How's that sound, Mr. Minato? I straighten. It appears we've come to the reason for this visit.
君は八幡宮のプリンスに従っていたと報告を受けているが。
I'm told you served the Prince of Hachiman Shrine.
はい。私的に雇用され、エージェントのようなことをしていました。
Yes, I was his agent. It was an informal arrangement. I have no way of knowing how much the Colonel has learned. Whether via Captain Otori or from some other source, half-truths will serve me best here, I think.
なかなかの活躍ぶりだったらしい。
It sounds like he kept you busy.
恐縮です。
It was my honor to be of service. Even though you tried to kill me for it, I leave unspoken.
その能力を今後は我々の下で生かしていく気はないか？君の最も建設的な可能性はそうすることで開かれると信じているんだが。
How would you feel about coming to work for us? The Colonel continues, unfazed by my evasive response. Seems the most constructive option, don't you think?
建設的。
Constructive?
マイドノ宮はもういない。
The prince is gone.
ブラフで取引するつもりはないよ。
I'm not trying to
他
play
でもな
it.
い。
He's
君
still
の努
alive.
力、あるいは別の理由によってマイドノ宮は死を免れた。
As to whether you're
その点
responsible
は
for
認
that,
めてお
well,
こ
it isn't important.
う。だが当面謀略ごっこを楽しむ余裕はないはずだし、必然君を有効に運用もできない。
Point is, he's in no
殿
position
下
to
が
make use of
政
your
治的
skills.
行動力を取り戻す頃にはあいにくもう介入の余地はなくなっている。
By the time he's back on his feet, it'll be too late to make a difference.
今現在情勢は激動の渦中にあるんだ。後世の人間の目にはきっと明らかだろうな。
This is a turning point. It's
当
hard
事
to
者たる
tell
我々
when you're living it,
今を生きる人間にはむしろ捉えがたいが、
but later people will look back and say this is where it happened.
君はどうかな。明日は今日のコピーだと思うか。平穏な日々が積み重なっていくと、今日京浜新聞の一面は動物園から脱走したカバの話だった。明日はパンダの出産か？
Be the same as today? Will peace last forever? Today, the front story of the Keihin Times was about a hippo that escaped from the zoo. You think tomorrow it'll be a panda?
マイドノ宮殿下の復権とその後の活躍を信じて半年か1年至福の日々を送ってみるか。
How long are you willing to wait for His Highness to claw his way back? 6 months? A year?
そこまでの楽観視は残念ながら自分には不可能のようです。
Seems I share your pessimism, Colonel.
だろうね。
What I thought.
それなら話も進めやすい。故国の運命を憂うなら港君 GHQ に協力するべきだよ。
This should be easy. If you care about what happens to your home, work with us.
我々は六原の悪性から ヤマトを解放すると約束できる。
I promise we'll end Rokuhara's tyranny. I take a moment to consider the colonel's play and then come to a decision. It's time to play a card of my own.
一度は抹殺するべく測った相手を今度は味方に引き入れようと。
You tried to dispose of me once and now you want me to help you?
状況の変化だよ。
Well, things change. He doesn't even blink.
江ノ島の一件か。最終的にモンスターの出現でめちゃくちゃな結末を迎えてしまったようだが。
You're talking about Enoshima. That monster code Silver threw a wrench in things, but you're right. Those men were there on my orders.
確かに俺はあの島へ派兵した。六原の兵器開発と君、両方をひとまとめに処分しようとした部下の提案を入れてね。
Their mission was to eliminate you together with Rokuhara's secret weapon. It was my second's idea.
ジョージ・ガーゲット少佐。
Major George Gargett.
な
At the time,
あ、あ
it
の
made
時点にお
sense.
いて彼の意見は妥当だった。君は俺にとって得体の知れない適正分子でしかなかったからだ。迅速な抹殺が必要だと考えたし、今も別に判断を誤ったとは思っていない。
You were an unknown working against us, and I judged you needed to be dealt with and quickly, and I stand by that decision.
しかし現在君は我々の基地の内部にいる。未確認の適正存在ではなくなった。そして我々に対する病的なまでの敵意の所有者でないことは態度から明らかだ。
Now you're here and you're not working against us. You're less of an unknown. I can see you don't hate us, at least not beyond reason.
実際こうやって理性的に会話することもできる。それが分かればこちらにもまた別の考え方が生まれる。
We can talk, you and I. That being the case, new possibilities emerge.
そういうこと
It's
さ。
that simple. I consider the Colonel's affable assertion. He's right, I bear the Allies no particular ill will for their attempt on my life. I brought it up to test his reaction, though all I got was confirmation he's not a man who rattles easily. Alright then, a different tack.
なるほど。中佐殿、あなたの立場からすれば最もなことです。納得できます。
I see your point, Colonel. With respect to
自
myself,
分
I
に対
expect
する措置
or
に関
accept
しては。
that you did what you thought was necessary.
というと他に何か納得できないことが？
With respect to yourself, so there's something you don't accept?
いささか。そもそものあなた方が自分を敵視するに至ったゆえんです。
There is. The reason I found myself at odds with you in the first place.
あなた方は悪しき大和武者を故意に作り出し、人々の信望を進駐軍に集中させようと企てておられた。
You were attempting to incite Yamato and Musha to commit atrocities against the Yamatoan people, hoping those people would turn to you instead.
この非道と言わざるを得ない措置について、
I find those
中佐殿の
methods
お考えは
appalling.
いか
Will
に。
you speak in their defense? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Kageaki. That's the same thing you're doing. Fuck off. Remember, Kageaki's strategy for hunting Ginsego is murdering a bunch of innocents and the targets at the same time. And being like, well, it's totally worth it because I'm slowly getting one step closer to Ginsego. So, by Kageaki's own rationality that it's totally worth it to murder random people if you think it'll save people in the end. What this guy's doing is exactly the same. He's trying to set up a disaster that he can come in and save people from, so that he can long-term save them, or save them in the long run. Honestly, it's exactly the same philosophy, which is why you probably shouldn't kill random good people who... You shouldn't just kill random good people and accept that, right? Like, accept that some random innocent die, unless you, like, absolutely have to, you know? He's not in a situation where there's that kind of pressure. It's like they're both in a similar situation where you could, like, argue that they should do their thing or not. I mean, Kageaki's seems more straightforward, but from the other guy's perspective, it might be the same for him, right? Where he's like, wow, these people of Yamato are gonna suffer until someone fixes this place, because Rokuhara sucks and GHQ sucks. Maybe I can do something? But yeah, will you speak in their defense? This time the colonel says nothing, but I can tell in the misty sort of silence that follows, he feels neither anger nor guilt. He is merely waiting for the proper moment to deliver his answer. My good luck is being drained. Oh dear. Oh dear, I best not roll on gacha anytime soon. Do I like it or dislike it? Neither. It's a nice way to introduce yourself. Oh, well. She doesn't need that luck.
中佐殿。
Colonel?
そう思うのなら、君はやはり我々に協力するべきだな。
That's how you feel, you really should work with us.
今君が言ったような方法より、はるかにスマートな手段を俺は考えているよ。それには君の惜しみない協力が必要となる。
With your help, we could accomplish our goals smoothly, humanely, without any of the mess our last plan entailed.
わかりました。
Alright, Colonel Cannon.
クライブキャノン中佐。
What would you have me do?
六原と戦ってほしい。あの赤い剣をまとい。
Fight Rokuhara and that crimson Tsurugi of yours?
我々と肩を並べて。
But do it on our side?
それはつまり。
You mean?
なあ、そうだ。ヒーローになってもらいたいんだ。
That's right, I want you to be a hero! I try to hide it, but he doesn't miss the twisting of my lips.
不本意かな？
It doesn't appeal to you?
感激のあまりあなたの両手を握ろうとしていない
As you
こ
can
と
see, sir, I'm not jumping up to shake your hand.
残念だ。念入りに洗っておいたんだが。一応話を最後までさせてもらってもいいかな。
Too bad, I washed them just for this occasion. Mind hearing the rest before you shut me down?
構いませんが、伺わずとも察しはつきます。
Not at all, I reply, unable to keep an edge from entering my voice, though I believe I can guess what you'll say.
大和国民を代表して自分は GHQ に協力するわけですか？
You want to use me to show that Yamato is with you?
ま、そんなところだ。
Well, Colonel scratches his head, then smiles a lopsided smile. Pretty much. Two means to reverse himself here as well, lifting a Yamatoan up as a hero instead of the villain he tried to create. A native warrior fighting side by side with GHQ against Rokuhara, it's easy to see the effect this will have on public opinion. Far greater than if GHQ were to destroy Rokuhara alone. They are, after all, invaders, and when all is said and done, a bridge, a symbol of solidarity, is precisely what they need. Once again, I find myself awed by the Anglo-Saxon devotion to pragmatism. There's doubtless no race more readily able to do anything in service of their goals. Frankly, they could stand to tone it down a little.
無理に大喜びしろとは言わないさ。だが、君にも志があるだろう。
I don't
マイ
expect
ド
you to
ロノ
love
ミ
the
アの手元で
arrangement.
働いていたのなら。
But you are fighting for something, aren't you?
志
And what that might that be?
世界ではパックス・ブリタニカの完成は人類史から戦争なる病害を撲滅し一段階上の社会を生み出すだろう。この高潔なる事業にこそ身を捧ぐべし。
I don't know, world peace? A true Pax Britannica will end war forever, allowing civilization to reach the next stage of evolution. By joining us, you'd be contributing to this holiest of endeavors.
大きすぎます。加えて言うなら無双
Absurd
的すぎま
statement.
す。
And my ambitions are nowhere near that lofty.
同感だ。言ってて歯が浮いた。ヤマト
Yeah,
一
yeah,
国に
just
絞ろ
giving
う
you the
か。
party line. Peace for Yamato then.
大和の将来。
Yamato?
なあ。このまま六原幕府に春を楽しませておくのが最善だとはまさか思うまい？
You don't want Rokuhara running things, do you?
GHQ 大英連邦に春を楽しませるのが最善だと。
I should have faith that
そう信じ
the
ろ。
queen will be a more benevolent tyrant?
比較の問題だな。どちらが大和国民にとっても温かいか。
Well, it's all relative, isn't it? Ask yourself which your countrymen would prefer.
悩むほどの難題でもないと思うけど
I
ね。
think the choice is obvious.
さて他国人の銃口にひれ伏すよりはまだ自国人の剣に
I'm not so sure.
Well,
Some might
Congo
rather
is
submit
much
to a
more
Yamatoan sword than to the guns of a foreigner.
実益よりも自尊心か？それは美しいのかもしれないが、賢明とは言いかねるな。
They choose pride over a better life. It's very dignified and all, but I wouldn't call it smart.
賢明独立国家の誇りを捨てクイーンの施しを受ける身に甘んじることが賢明な選択というものですか？
Smart when you abandoned your dreams of independence, when you knelt to the queen and begged for her favor. I suppose you were making the smart choice.
君の言うことはまあ理解できる。
I get where you're coming from.
が得てして大衆とは君のように考えないものだ。誇りある苦痛より永住しての安楽を望む。
The problem is, most people aren't like that. They'd rather submit and live in peace than suffer and keep their pride.
そうした人々に対する理解も必要だと俺は思うが
It's
ね。
not all about us, you know?
了解しました。それは良しとしましょう。実際、大英連邦に支配された各国の状況を見れば、
Point
ロクハラ
taken.
の統治よりも市民に対しての配慮が深いことは
As a
明ら
matter
か
of
で
fact, everything I've heard leads me to believe that Britain's a better master, all things considered, than Rokuhara could ever be.
す。その上で申し上げますが、
Even so, I have no desire to join the losing side.
負け馬に乗るのはごめん被
But
り
it
た。
calls them out as being the losing side. The what?
今のところ、中佐殿が提示された未来図は、パイ・イン・ザ・スカイに過ぎないということです。これまでのお話だけでは、とても命を落とす真似などできません。
The bright future you describe is not probable. A pie in the sky, I believe, is the phrase you use. I won't risk my life without hope of return. Plan C, play the
ロ
mercenary.
クハラに対する称賛は終わりか。
First, I'd like to hear how you'll defeat Rokuhara if you don't mind.
進駐軍の現有戦力はすでに関東地方におけるロクハラの全戦力を上回っている。
I'm sure
そ
you're
の技術
aware
だけでは足りないか。
we already outmassed Rokuhara in Kanto,
さらにフィリピンからの増援も加わる。
plus those reinforcements from the Philippines.
イエス。
Correct.
戦力差は。なるほど。
I'm aware and it's
大きいでし
significant,
ょ
but it's not decisive.
う。なんと言っても、ヤマトはあなた方にとっては異教の地だ。
In case you forgot, Colonel, Yamato is not your land.
地の利で劣ることは認めよう。だがそれだけの理由で戦力差は覆り、幕府が我々に勝利しうると君は考えるのか？
True, Rokuhara does have the home advantage, but do you really think it's enough to beat us given our material superiority?
まさか。
Of course not.
では
Then why don't you think we can win?
あなた方は開戦するに際し、絶対的な条件を一つ設定するはずだと思うのです。中佐殿。
I believe there's a concern which for you is more pressing than either numbers nor or the terrain, Colonel. That being time.
連盟軍を運営する各国、つまり金を出す人々は戦争の長期化を何より厭うでしょう。大戦に続いてまた年単位の戦争、
Countries which
し
form
か
the
も
League of
こんな
Nations,
極東の地で行えば
which is
出
to say
費は
the
莫
people
大になる。
paying your bills, they won't accept another lengthy conflict not so soon after the last war, and not on the far side of the world.
下手をすれば国がいくつか倒産します。名士たる大英連邦さえ傾きかねない。
The expense would bankrupt some lesser nations, and even the Queen must consider what her subjects, the taxpayers, will say.
確かにね。我々の戦力は十分でも、戦力を稼働させるための財力は潤沢とはなかなか言いづらい状況にある。
Right again, we have the men and the guns, but the funds to keep them fighting? It's a little harder.
そう。
We need a
だ
quick
から
kill,
我々は短期決戦を目指す。
and that's exactly what we'll get.
ロクハラが地の利を盾に取り、勝つよりも負けない戦いに徹したとしても、
And if Rokuhara chooses not to meet you in the field, but delay you for as long as they can,
彼らの性質的になかなかその決断は下せないと思うが。
you think they'll do that, proud warriors that they are?
祖国を裏切り、あなた方の軍門にひとまず屈する恥辱にも耐えたロクハラです。
Well, they already
必要とは
betrayed their oaths when they helped you
どん
conquer
な手段も
Yamato.
ためらいますまい。
Compared to that, I doubt there's any shame which they could not endure.
なるほど。
Ah, I see.
自分がロクハラの総帥であれば、あなた方の攻勢を支える一方で、横須賀に兵を回します。
By leading Rokuhara's defense,
横
I'd
須賀
split
は
off
進駐軍
forces
に
to
とって
attack
補給の要。
Yokosuka in your rear.
ここを潰されれば、あなた方の行動限界はさらに早まります。
If you lose
物
the
資
naval
は
base,
現地調達するにも限度がある。
it won't be long before your men
動
have
け
to
る
forage
間
for
にフダ
supplies.
ラクを落とすのは、
And there's only so far that'll get you. You won't be able to take Fudaraku before you're scraping the barrel.
だからといって横須賀の防備を固くすれば、
You'll have to
決
guard
戦
your
の
supply
兵
line.
力が不足する。
That means less troops to the main
や
assault.
はり短時日のうちに幕府軍を駆逐するなど、夢物語になってしまう。
In this scenario, I don't see how you can hope for a swift resolution. What he's gonna say, like, what if we didn't have to have a war?
この上もし、フィリピンからの援軍が海上で幕府艦隊に擁撃されるようなこ
And
と
on
で
top of
もあ
that,
れ
if the Shogunate's fleet manages to intercept your reinforcements from the Philippines,
ば、あなた方は大和占領どころか、生き延びる方法をまず考えなくてはならない境遇に陥る。
now
そ
you're
う
fighting
して
for your own survival. Never mind
進
what
駐
who
軍
goes
は
on to
そ
rule
う楽観
Yamato.
できる状況にはないと。
To summarize, I see no
Jibun ni wa
cause for
omoeru no desu.
optimism on your part, Colonel.
いかがか。
Or do I misread the situation? No, you've got it right.
ま、認めるさ。全般状況を鑑みるに、まず妥当な分析だ。仮に今、戦争の火蓋を切って落とせば、君の言うように事態が推移する可能性は高い。
That's a good analysis, given the
我
intelligence
々が短
available
期
to
間で
you.
勝利をつかむのは困難だ。
If we go to war now, it'll probably happen exactly the way you described.
その薄い賞賛を濃くするために自分が求められているのなら
If you believe I'm capable of
中
changing
佐
that,
殿
I'm afraid you've
お眼
sorely
鏡違い
overestimated
も
my
華々
abilities.
しいと答えるほかありませんが
I thought he wanted someone to play a hero. If he's looking for a real hero, someone who can challenge Rokuhara single-handedly, he's better off asking Kinsego.
そんな無茶は言わない。
My
極端な
expectations
話
aren't that high.
君は我々と一緒に戦線へ立ってくれるだけでいいんだ。
If we're being honest, I actually don't need you to do any fighting at all. You just need to be there and be seen.
戦力としては何ら期待していない。
Not that I doubt
君
your
ほどの勇
prowess.
者にこう言っては侮辱としか聞こえないかな。
If I've offended your
だと
pride,
した
I'll
ら謝ろう。
apologize.
無用です。しかしであればあなた方は独力で六原を撃破せねばな
No
らない。
need. It sounds like you intend to defeat Rokuhara with only the forces currently at your disposal.
するさ。
Oh, that's right. I'm confused. Didn't he just concede a stalemate is likely?
我々は勝利する。ごく短期間のうちに。
We'll win and fast.
損
With
害は
minimal
軽微であ
losses.
り、戦果は莫大だろう。
何の根拠もなくその
Upon
お
what
こ
are you
とを
basing
信
this
じるか。
assumption?
根拠ね。
Oh, you want proof? Alright.
そうだな。
I
も
can
っとも
understand
だ。
that.
なら君は根拠を得てから決断すればいい。六原が事実上壊滅した後で改めて君を勧誘することにしよう。
So I'll prove it to you by destroying Rokuhara in a day, and afterwards, we'll have this talk again.
君の協力はそれからでも構わないんだ。
I'll still need your help rebuilding.
しかし、その時になってもなお、
And if you still
君
can't
が決
make up
断
your
を
mind
下せな
then,
いような
well,
ら、君は我々にとって
we won't have
必
any
要
use
な
for
人
you
間で
after
は
all.
なくなる。良き未来は努力を積み上げた山の上に。破局の結末は怠惰が沈殿する沼の底に。
If you want to reach the light, you need to work for it. Build the ladder step by step, else you're trapped at the bottom of the well forever.
必ずしもそうではない
Maybe
か
it's
も
all
しれ
luck.
ない。だがそう信じておくべきだ。人として生を全うするつもりがあるならね。違
Who
うか。
knows?
港影明。
But if we hope just to make a difference, we must act as if we can, don't you? I think you agree, or am I wrong about you, Minato Kageaki? Is he or is he not aware of the curse? I don't know. Let's find out.
人、面の皮が薄かったかな。
Maybe I was a little too forthcoming.
キャノン中佐
Colonel, sir.
なんだ
What is it?
D8 号が面会を求めておりますが
Agent D8's asking for you, sir?
そういや先送りにしちまってたな。
Alright,
後に
I
取っ
forgot
とい
about
て
him.
楽しい客でもないし、手の空いているうちに済ますか。
Well, I'm free now, and there's no point saving him for later.
俺の部屋によこしてくれ。
Bring him to my office. Is this Sorimachi?
はっ
Sir? At least Otori got her, turns out Otori has her Tsurugi. Even if it might be a lifeless copy of a famous Tsurugi, it's still cool. Thanks for taking the time to see me, boss.
よう。相変わらず顔色が悪いな。
As always, you've the look of a man half dead.
こいつは生まれつきなんでどうか気になさんないでくださいまし
Afraid I was born with it, sir. Best pay it no mind.
すまなかったな。だいぶ無駄足を運ばせたようだ。
Sorry to keep you waiting. I know it's out of the way.
中佐殿はお忙しい身仕方ありません
Not a problem. You're a busy man.
今日も要件だけで失礼させていただきます
I'll be out of your hair in a jiffy.
そうか。軽く一杯付き合ってもらおうかと思ったんだがな。
Why the rush? I was hoping to offer you a drink.
お気持ちだけで
Very kind, but I think I'll pass.
残念だ。
Ah, too bad.
嫌いな酒に無理して付き合っていただいちゃ申し訳なくて足も向けられません
Just I'd feel bad, you know, making a guy drink knowing he hates it.
俺、そんなことお前に言ったか。
I don't recall mentioning my preference to you.
いいえね中佐のようなお方はみんな酒なんてくだらないものは飲まねえんだよ
You didn't need to. Guys like you, sir, you tend to shun the bottle.
他にもっと心地よく酔えるものをお持ちなんですから ね
You got other things to hang on to.
理想とか
Goals,
ね
ideals,
そいつがあるうちは酒なんていりませ
sort
ん
of things that won't give you a hangover.
本当の酒の味ってのが分かるようになるのは人生を投げた後です
Sake is for when you've given it all up, for when you've nothing left to live for.
眼蓄深いな。
Sounds like experience talking.
そうも
Couldn't rightly say it. What?
お前は
You drink?
酒ですか
Me, sir?
あ
Yeah.
大好きですね
Oh, like a fish.
ご愁傷様だな。俺は酒好きにならないよう気をつけよう。
Sorry to hear it. I'll do my best not to develop a taste.
そうなさってください
Wise man.
報告を聞こうか。
Let's hear that report.
はい結果から言えば仕損じました
Well, to make a long story short, they failed.
帰り討ちに
You beat them?
いえ熱量限界で落ちたんで
Not exactly. They ran out of juice and crashed.
機体は大破しちまいましたがパーツをあらかた回収したんで修復できます
The machine
中
can
身
be
の方
repaired.
はほとんどスクラップですが
We recovered most of the parts. As for the soft bits, they're mostly scrap.
一部はまだ使えます替えもありますしね
One or two might be useful. As for the others, there's plenty more where they came
う
from.
ん。お前が江ノ島から拾ってきたデータに刺激を受けて開発部の趣味人が作っちまったあのガッツアイだ。
This toy the eggheads and special projects cooked up, this Guts Eider. They said they got the idea from the debacle on Enoshima, which didn't exactly inspire
期
confidence.
待しちゃいなかったがどうだ
So tell me,
少
was
し
it
は
worth the
戦果を上げ
expense?
たのか。
そうですね
As to that, I think they did
Ma-
just fine.
検討したと思いますよ相手を考えればねユナイテッドドラグーンってやつ案外と目があるのかもしれません
Well, with who they were fighting and all, this combined Dragoon idea, there might be something to it.
ほん
Really?
もう一度野郎にぶつけてみてその結果次第ですがね
Can't say for sure
う
until
ま
they
い
go
こと
up
言って
against
落
him
と
one
し
more
ちゃう
time.
ようなら
If they can bring him down.
暇人の手慰みが一転正規の研究に化けるかもってわけだ。
Then what was just some
そいつは面白い。
engineer's flight of fancy becomes the
興味
next
深い。
revolution in military science? I like it.
作戦を続行してくれ、反町。
You know, the
詳細
operation.
は任せる。
I'll leave the details to you. Ah, so the Oni was in fact sent by these guys. All right. They were testing how well he can fight. You sure, boss?
構わないね
構わないが
Of course. Why?
ですが中佐殿じーと困ったことに標的が姿をくらましちまいま
It's
して
just the teeny problem. The son of a bitch has gone missing.
村正、港
Missing
影明。
Muramasa and Minato Kageaki.
ね
That's right.
そいつを俺に愚痴られてもな。人探しならお前の方が得意だろ
Not much I can do about it. Finding people's your line of work.
港が関東のどこに潜もうと、お前の網にすぐ引っかかるはずじゃないか。
Anywhere.
そうなんですがね
In Kanto, sir.
関東にいないって
You're saying he's left
か
Kanto?
もしれませんでなきゃ私なんぞの力が及ぶわけもないところへかくまわれてるか
Otherwise, someone's hiding him. Someone with a lot of pull.
フダラクとかクボーフとか
Like
Kokoto.
Rokuhara. Maybe one of the generals. Or maybe he's hiding here.
うんバカバカしいと笑い捨てたいが
No, maybe I shouldn't laugh.
お前の言うことだからな基地の中を探してみるか
If you're a careful man, would you like to take a look around the base?
許可証くらい出してやる大した手間じゃない
I'll get you a pass. Really, it's no trouble.
いえいえ行ってみただけですよ
Oh, that's alright, boss. I'm just throwing it out there.
こんなとこにいるわけありませ
Makes
ん
sense for him to be here.
そう言うならいいが
If you're certain.
他には
Was there anything else?
格別
Not in particular.
では任務を続行しろ港影明を殺せ
Then return to the mission. I want Minato dead.
彼の存在は GHQ の不利益だ
He's a threat to our efforts in Yamato. This guy's playing both sides of the field. Trying to recruit this guy and trying to get him killed.
ね
Yes.
支援が必要になったら言え相談に応じるただここしばらくは多忙が続くもんでねすぐにとはいかないかもしれない
Feel free to ask if there's anything you need. Just be aware. We're entering a busy time and I may not be available to answer right away.
それは承知しておいてくれ反町
Good luck, Sorimachi.
わかりました
Interesting. So he's not just recruiting him, he's still trying to get the other guy off after him. Maybe he's just trying to use him as a test subject for research. Who knows? That night, Captain Otori takes me on another walk.
そうですか。あの方は影明様にそんなお話を。
So the colonel made you an offer. Yeah, he did. Once we're outside, Miss Nagakura withdraws to an unusual distance, one that will permit her to ensure no one overhears our conversation. From this, it's clear what the topic is to be. The captain must have learned of Colonel Cannon's visit, and now expects me to relay the details. This I do, and the captain reciprocates.
資料管理課課長、実態は諜報総監、そしてあなたの上司、
The
あ
Data
のキャノ
Management
ン
Bureau,
中様。
GHQ's Black Ops Division. He leads it, and he's your direct superior.
ええ、GHQ の大和計略において実験を掌握していると言っても過言ではない方です。
That's right. It wouldn't be a stretch to say he's the man most responsible for advancing GHQ's interests in Yamato.
それはつまり、彼の語った内容は一中佐の見解にとどまるものではなく、
So when he speaks, I should
GHQ 全
consider
体
him
の思想でもあると。
to be speaking for GHQ as a whole.
虚実はともかく、あの方の言葉にはそれだけの重みがあると考えた方がよろしいでしょうね。
Whether that's literally true or not, you would be wise to assume that is.
虚実。大殿、キャノン中佐の自分に対する依頼の件は、
Speaking of true,
果
Captain,
たし
do
て
you believe
額面通りに受け取ったものでし
I
ょ
can
うか。
take the Colonel's offer at face value?
そうですね。それに関しては呆れ返るほど効果的な作戦ですし、
Well, he's not wrong about the effect it would have.
私にも似たようなプランが用意されていますから、また別に試案があるとしても影明様の協力が欲しいというのは嘘ではないでしょう。
I believe he's sincere about desiring your cooperation. He has similar plans for me, you know?
なるほど。
Of course. Otori Kanai, she'd indeed make a fine replacement once Rokuhara is out of the picture. A puppet like her sister, only on a grander stage.
大殿、
Will you do it, Captain?
自分に関するプランを
Go along with his
は
plan?
い。
Yeah.
一概に否定はしません。
I can't say for certain I won't.
あまり、大尉のご気象にそぐう提案とも思えませんが。
Well, it doesn't seem like something you'd agree to.
先日申し上げましたでしょ。私が大和へ帰国したのは第一に民を守る務めを果たすため。
You remember what I told you? First and foremost, I'm here to defend the people of Yamato.
国際連盟、要するに大英連邦ということになりますけれど、その征服を受け入れるのが大和にとって最良なら、私もそれに従い求められる役割を果たすまでです。
If submitting to the League of Nations to Britain is indeed the best course for Yamato, then that's the course I must take, no matter what it requires of me.
否やはありません。
My feelings on
私
the
個
matter
人
are
の好み
irrelevant.
など考慮のようもないことです。
I see. I bow briefly but low in deference to her resolve.
影明様はいかがですの？
What will you do, Kageaki dear?
考えてはみました。
I've given it some thought. Did his thoughts consider the curse he's under, or does he just forget about that when calculating anything?
キャノン中佐の示す道が最善であるのか。まさにその一点。
As you say, it all
本
hinges
当
on
に
whether
そ
or
れ
not
が
he's,
最も良い可能性であるの
this
か。
path he's laid out is in Yamato's best interests. On whether there truly is no better way.
ご結論は？
Have you reached a conclusion?
一時的な平和は訪れるでしょう。
It would bring a peace.
進駐軍が六原を駆逐し、大和の統治権を握ったなら、市政の多くの点で改善が期待できます。大英連邦が大和に限って、ジェントルマンシップを放棄しない限りは。
If Britain replaces Rokuhara, the average citizen will likely see a marked improvement in how their government treats them. Assuming, of course, the British do not abandon their gentlemanly ways when it comes to Yamato.
大和は大英を宗主国と仰ぎ、スカンジナビアやバルト三国、モンゴルのように、ロシアを封ずる壁の一枚となります。ケイジ・オブ・ベアーズがついに完成します。
Like Scandinavia, the Baltics, and Mongolia, Yamato will become another piece in their Iron Curtain, England's bulwark against Russia.
しかしそうなった時、露呈は黙って両手を上げるでしょうか。
Question is, will Russia allow this to happen? I wonder what life's like in Russia, considering they're like an ominous threat, but we haven't seen anything about them. Is life in Russia as wonderful as it was under the Soviet Union? And that wonderful is in air quotes, of course.
南下政策は彼らの生命線です。その切断をただ看過するとは思えません。
Russia desperately needs to expand south into Asia. I doubt they'll remain silent as Britain boxes them in.
彼らが封鎖網の実力突破を図ったとき、
When they decide to break containment, where will they strike first?
占領から間もないヤマト？
The newest brick in the wall? Yamato?
支配体制が確立する前なら付け入る感激はある。おそらくそう考える者がいるでしょう。で
If they
あれば
decide that until it's fully integrated, Yamato is
大和の
vulnerable,
春も
the peace
長
Britain
く
gives
は
us
続
will
かない。
end before it truly began.
ロイヤルナイツとコサックによる激戦の巷となります。
As knights and Cossacks descend upon this country like a storm.
もちろんそんなことは大英連邦も望みません。外交で決着をつけようとするでしょう。いくらかは露呈の要求にも応じ、代償に連盟への参加を認める。そのあたりで。けれど
Britain will try to avoid open war, of course. They'll likely offer some concessions in exchange for Russia's membership in the League.
目論見通りに行くとは限らな
Matters
い。
rarely proceed as one hopes.
はい、
Yes, as
過去
history
の歴史
proves.
が証明するように。
だからキャノン中佐の依頼は拒む。
That's why you'll reject his offer?
そうなります。
Yes. Though that's not the only reason. If I join GHQ, it means fighting side by side with the knight who killed my father. But that's a private matter. Grave, yes, but not one to speak of here. Instead, I decide to mention my third reason.
いや、これも微
That's
妙
not
な
much
とこ
better.
ろか。実はもう一つ別
Actually,
の
there's
金が
another reason,
何ですかしら。
which is,
論理的考察ではなく、
at this point, it's
ほとんど
purely supposition.
構いませんことよ。
I don't mind.
キャノン中佐は本当に大英連邦に対して忠実な軍人なのでしょうか。
I'm wondering, is Colonel Cannon truly loyal to the crown?
我ながらこれはゲスの勘繰りも同然。お恥ずかしい。
Disgraceful, I know. One shouldn't cast suspicions.
けれどそう勘ぐった根拠は終わりになる。
Is a reason you wondered, yeah?
根拠と呼べるほどのものは
Nothing one might call evidence, it's just
彼との対話において自分も正直のとではありませんでしたが、それ以上に中佐の方が深く本心を隠しておられたと思うのです。
while I was hardly a paragon of honesty during our conversation, I sensed he was holding back a great deal more, but there was a moment.
賢明。独立国家の誇りを捨てクイーンの施しを受ける身に甘んじることが
Yeah, when he
賢明な
insults
選
him for
択と
kneeling
いう
to
も
the
のですか。
king. Makes sense. And he's kind of just like,
君の言うこと
I
は
get where you're coming
まあ理解できるが、得てして大衆とは君のように考えないものだ。誇りある苦痛より霊従しての安楽を
And then
望
he
む。
turns around and follows up with a line like, the problem is, most people aren't like that. They'd rather submit and live in peace than suffer and keep their pride. But he's implying that he's not like most people.
そうした人々に対する理解も
Yep.
必要だと俺は思う
It's
が
not
ね。
all about us, you know? Implying he's like
あの
Kageyaki.
一瞬だけキャノン中佐は素の感情を覗かせた。
I felt in
自
that
分に
moment
は
he was
そう
speaking
思え
from
る
the
ので
heart.
す。
クイーンズルールへの反発を。
You believe he resents the queen's rule?
わかりません。本当に憶測なのです。
As I said, it was only a feeling.
やっぱりこちらからの対処も考えてみるべきかしら。いえ、伯爵を動かすにはもう遅い。
Did we take action? It's too late to summon the count now.
タイ殿、
Yeah.
ごめんなさい、何でもありませんの。それでもし影明様の推測が当たっていたとすると
Oh,
どうなり
sorry,
ま
it's
す？
this suspicion of yours. If it's correct, what then?
彼が万一にも女王への範囲を有しているとすれば、大和占領を積極的に推し進めるのもそのためということになります。
If he
こ
does
の国に
harbor
よって
rebellious aspirations,
大
then to
英連
him,
邦に牙を向く。
the conquest of Yamato must be in furtherance of those aims. He might plan to use our country as a weapon against Britain.
やはり大和は戦場となるでしょう。この場合、単に大英連邦と露呈が争う場合よりも情勢は混迷し、人々はさらに過酷な境遇に置かれるかもしれ
In
ま
this
せん。
case, also, the peace will not last. If anything, the chaos and the aftermath and the suffering will likely be far worse.
あるいは、 六原時代を懐かしむ声さえ上がるほど
We might even find ourselves wishing we could go back to the way things were.
元の濁りの田沼小意識、勘弁していただきたいものですね。
Longing for the good old days of Rokuhara? Now there's a frightening thought.
完全に同意します。
つま
Agreed.
り影明様の見るところ、私の上司に付き従う先はどう転ぶにしろ必ずしも明るくないと。
You feel that no
でも
matter his intentions, nothing good can come of his accepting his offer?
なら影明様には独自の展望が終わ
You have
り、よ
another
り
plan
確
then?
実に大和の平和を約束するような。
One guaranteed to secure peace for Yamato? The question bites a guaranteed road to peace, and if such a road existed, the prince and my father would not have struggled with the question. Alas, reality is more complex, so complex that even those two, for all their prudence, chose a path that led them to ruin. The fate of nations is no trifling matter, it certainly is beyond my faculties. However,
展望はありません。ただ、
not what I would
こだわりが
call a
一つ。
plan, but I have a condition.
こだわり？
Condition?
現世界情勢を思えば、大和の平和を保つのは難しい。軍事的緊張と無縁ではいられません。しかし、
With the state of the world as it
い
is,
ずれ戦争を避け得ないとしても、
it just seems implausible we'll be able to remain out of the fray, but if Yamato must go to war, Captain,
それは、この国の人間がこの国の舵取りをした結果であるべきだと考えるのです。
I would have it be the result of choices Yamatoans made.
他国の都合で振り回された挙句にそうなるのでは、あまりにもやるせない。第一、開戦が他国の都合であるなら、終戦も他国の都合となってしまうのが道理。
Manipulated by foreign agents into war which serves their aims. That's not how I want history to remember us. And most of all, if we go to war on someone else's terms, they also decide the terms by which that war ends.
途方もない損害が払われた末、大和には何も益するところがない。
The worst case,
最悪、
we might find that
こ
when
の
it's
国
all
は
our,
そんな歴史を刻んでしまうこともあり得ます。
when it's all over, all our
どうも
sacrifices
それ
have
は
bought
受
us
け
is
入れがたい。
nothing. We must not allow that to happen.
大和の不沈はせめて大和の意志で決めたい。
If Yamato rise or fall by the will of its
そういう
people,
こ
it's
と
the
です。
only fate I'll accept. Okay, well, do you even know what the will of the people is? Because the only thing we know right now is they hate Rokuhara.
では影明様のそのこだわりのためには今六原軍が壊滅するようなことがあってはならない。
Yeah, the way things are now, to satisfy your condition, Rokuhara needs to survive.
そうですね。
Am I wrong?
はい。
She's correct. Questions about their fitness to rule aside, the fact remains Rokuhara possesses the only force capable of defending Yamato and its people's right to choose their destiny. If the shogunate falls, the island becomes the place where greater nations work out their differences, a modern-day Colosseum.
キャノン中佐との対話が戦略論に及んだ時、彼も言っていました。
We spoke briefly of
六
strategy.
原を短事実のうちに撃滅することは可
Colonel
能だ
Cannon
と
believes he can end the war in a day, and I argued it wasn't
考え
possible.
られません。進駐軍と幕府軍、両軍の陣容を比較して、六原が絶対的に劣弱であるなどとは、
The Allied position is superior, but not to that degree, Captain. Am I missing something?
本当
Is
に
there
そ
a
の
way
ような作戦
GHQ
構想が実在するのですか？
Is there a way GHQ could accomplish this?
実在します。
Oh, there is.
私も詳細は掴んでいません。厳重な情報規制がかけられ、上層部の他は実行部隊にしか知らされていないようです。
I haven't yet managed to pin down the details. There's a tight seal on any intelligence related to the operation.
ようやく探り出せたのは作戦の決行日とそのために用意された
All I know is
一
the
つ
day
の
it'll
兵
happen,
器
and the name of the weapon that made it possible, which
それ
is
は
フォージドボム。
the forged bomb. Is it an exploding? Is it an explosive Tsurugi? Everything's got to loop back to them, right? November 29th, the 41st year of Koryu, 1940. 2,600 years since Yamato's founding. 6:22 a.m.
開民開弁開脱パン。
Interesting rhyme in Japanese. All right. A good night's rest, a good bowel movement, a good start to a pantsless day.
僕は二度とパンツを履いてこの部屋に戻ることはない。そうあってほしいものだ。
And may I never again return to this place with bullocks covered.
閣下、作戦参加将校、全員集合いたしました。
Your officers are assembled.
ご苦労。では、キャノン中佐。
Excellent. Clive?
はい。
Thank you, sir.
これよりゴールデンドーン作戦の最終確認を行う。
We'll now commence the final briefing for Operation Golden Dawn. 7 a.m. The briefing's probably over. Every morning at precisely the same time, the guard delivers my breakfast. Today it comes with a secret message. I take the milk carton, a novelty in Yamato, and with a plastic knife slice it open. It takes no time to locate the piece of waterproof paper inside. I shake it dry and then unfold it to read. Oh darling, how can they keep us apart? If only we could go back to those days when we lived in peace before the age of man. Then we'd need no words to show our love for each other. No change to the plan. By which she means both GHQ's and our own. Having deciphered the coded message, I flip the paper over and pen the note for received and understood. Please forget you ever met me. All that's left is to return the paper to the carton and let the guard collect it with the tray. According to the schedule, I have 45 minutes before the next phase. 7:30. 30 minutes later. Chanchamaru is... What? Quit it. Quit it. Fucking quit it! Going out, okay? How about some fucking peace? 7:40.
クライブ、ブーンを。
Godspeed, Clive.
俺の運より女王陛下の運の月を祈ってくれませんかね。その方が効き目はありそうだ。
Rather than praying for me, sir, perhaps you should pray that our queen's luck finally runs out.
祈るよ。アワアメリカ2億の同胞と共にな。
I am Clive, together with our 200 million comrades back home in our America. I believe the ship's about to take off. She did not have a voiced line for that. I feel it. This is it then. Plan calls for them to make the drop at approximately 800 hours. Oh, 800 hours. In 20 minutes, it'll all be over. Yes, mistress, one way or another. One way or another, Sayo. If I'm being honest, I don't see it making much difference in the end, but we're here. We might as well win the damn thing. A point of pride, he called it? That's right. A point of pride. Fragile. Meaningless. No use at all. But what good is a nation if it can't give its people even that? None whatsoever, I'd wager. There we have it. Still. Yes, sire? Do you think we could have picked somewhere to hide other than inside the helium balloon? This business of drawing letters on each other's back is getting tiresome. Oh, we should rather have ridden outside. 7:45. 5 minutes passed since takeoff. Time to make my move. Muramasa? Mido? When I hear Muramasa's voice for the first time in days, I know Captain Otori is following the plan. Are you mobile?
もう閉じ込められてはいないから。それで、ついさっきまで私を忌々しい箱に押し込めてくれていたあの女を噛み殺してやる必要はないって話だけど。
Sure, now that I'm not stuck in that box. Speaking of which, your friend who shoved me in there said I shouldn't bite her head off. Is she right? Did she explain the situation?
聞いたのはそこまでよ。
You
あ
didn't
と
get
は
that
あな
far.
たに聞けって。
She said I should get the details from you. Good, can you get to me? By the texture of her transmissions, I sense Muramasa's approximately 300 meters away. A considerable distance to traverse undetected, though with Muramasa's stealth capabilities. It's in the morning?
当たり前よ。ここ数日間の船寿司扱いでたまりにたまったこの鬱屈。今晴らさないでいつ晴らすかってよ。
You bet I can. You better believe someone's gonna pay for trying to turn me into fermented sushi. I suppose that's fair.
Hell's Agent!
Hell's Agent. Alright, it's a demon.
親愛なる隣人よ。
Nope, just your friendly neighborhood spider.
先生した。
Glad you're satisfied. The sound of a dozen or so men racing down the hallway tells me there's no time for chatter. My first order of business is to ensure I remain ignorant of the fate awaiting prisoners who fail to escape.
仏に会うては仏を切る。
Spider-Man's prison break. He's even gonna try not to kill anyone. Although I wonder if Muramasa killed anyone on her way here. Were there demons, I slay them. Were there saints, I slay them.
剣の断り、こ
Finds
こ
the
に
way
あ
of
り。
the sword. Alright, arm it up. Let's go, boys. I burst from my cell and take to the sky. The transition from captivity to freedom is jarring as my prison falls away beneath me. I feed heat to my engine, boosting my speed. The dragoons on patrol, diligent though they may be, will not be prepared for a target suddenly appearing inside the base. I should have no trouble breaking through, provided I waste no time.
それでミド、結局、何がどうなったの？
Care to tell me what's going on?
おう、
Right. Now that we're out of immediate danger, I suppose I should explain, if concisely. It can't hurt to remind myself how we got here either. And I begin.
11月29日午前7時45分、ここ横浜基地からエアシップが一隻訓練航行の名目で出撃します。
At 07:45 on the 29th of November, an airship will depart from Yokohama base, ostensibly for a training
この予
exercise.
定はすでに幕府へ通達がされていますから迎撃されることはありません。もちろん万一の空襲に備えて警戒態勢は敷かれるでしょうが、
The Shogunate's already been made aware of its flight plan, so they'll leave it alone, though I'm sure they'll keep an eye on it just in case.
飛行艦の方、
What class of airship?
ビッガースメイフライマーク 4C、 飛行艦の中では快速ですがその分小型です。
Vickers Mayfly Mark 4C, fast but small for an airship.
収容可能な竜騎兵はせいぜい20機。その程度の戦力では、たとえフダラクへの奇襲を成功させても、
I
損
believe those
害ら
carry
し
at
い
most,
損害
what,
など与えられ
20
ない。
dragoons? Even if they reach Fudaraku airspace, that's not enough to deal real damage.
これは自明の利です。六原の警戒は形ばかりになるでしょう。
If Rokuhara shadows it, it'll be with minimal forces.
ええ、おそらくは。当日フダラクには翌日に大正領宣言式典を控えて幕閣首脳が参集しているはずですから、やや警戒も強まるとは思いますけれど。
They may send a few extra units given that Rokuhara's leadership will be there for the ceremony, but they won't treat it as a credible threat.
あくまで形式の域は出ないでしょうね。訓練飛行を装って要人暗殺、おは拉致
It's not as though they're going to
コー
sail in and snatch
ス
the
子
next
供同士
shogun
に
from
も
his
程
bed
がありま
chambers.
すし。
That sort of thing only happens in dime novels.
同感です。
Even assuming the air patrols let the ship waltz by, every person of importance will have at least a company of Musha guarding them. 20 dragoons isn't enough to accomplish any conceivable mission. And that's why when their airship appears on the radar, Rokuhara won't make the unwarranted and ultimately correct step of blowing it out of the sky. They'll watch, stifling yawns as it approaches their airspace.
横浜から不堕落城までは約20キロ。ビッカース級の巡航速度で30分もあれば到達できる計算です。
From Yokohama to Fudaraku is approximately 20 kilometers at cruising speed. A Vickers 4C can make that in 30 minutes. That is a slow-ass vehicle. How is it? I guess it's a blimp, but still slow. It's traveling 40 kilometers an hour at cruising speed. Not exactly an impressive number.
しかし、それは直進した場合です。対六原の注意を最大限減らすため、
That's only if
飛
they
行
fly
艦は迂
straight.
回路を取るのではありますまい
If
か。
they want to keep Rokuhara in the dark for as long as possible, won't they take a more circuitous route?
それがそうもいかないらしくて、問題の爆弾の安全性に関してはキャノン中佐も完全な信頼を持てずにいるご様子なのです。
I'm sure the colonel would like to, but apparently he has some doubts as to the stability of their new weapon.
作戦所要時間は短縮したいお考
He
え。
intends to get it over with as quickly as possible.
なるほど。ではそうする一方、爆撃に竜騎兵ではなく、
Wouldn't it make
わ
sense
ざわ
then
ざ
to
足の
trust
鈍い
the
飛
weapon
行
to a
艦を用
dragoon?
いるのみ。
They're far faster than any airship.
同じ理由ですね。
Same
なる
reason.
だけ安定した環境で爆弾を運用したいと。
He wants to ensure the most stable environment possible for our bomb.
無意
Alright.
味なところで暴発させて鎌倉市民に特大の花火をプレゼントしても仕方ありません。不堕落城と数十万の軍兵を一撃で滅却するために用意された爆弾なんですから。
I mean, the last thing he wants is for the bomb to go off somewhere unintended, such as over Kamakura. It is, after all, a weapon that'll erase Fudaraku from the map, together with several 100,000 soldiers in attendance.
まだ信じられませんか？
You don't believe it?
なかなか
It's a tall order.
にわかにはフォージドボー人間大の重量規模で TNT 火薬1万トン相当の爆破
Man-sized bomb which carries the destructive force of 10,000 tons of dynamite.
冗談にしか聞こえませんね。
Does sound rather far-fetched, doesn't it?
はい
Go. Our response is humorless. This is no laughing matter, as the captain, I'm sure, is aware.
一体どういう原理でそんなとんでも兵器が実現したのかまでは調べがつきませんでした。ただ、
I'm
昨
afraid
日
I
今
couldn't
日の
find out how
発
it's
明で
supposed to
はな
work.
く、
All I know is it's
か
been
な
the
り
subject
長
of
期にわたっ
concerted
て研
research
究
for
がされ
some
ていた
time.
ようで。
Minato Kageyaki's plans are terrible. So his plan is to stop GHQ from taking over the country immediately. For what purpose, though? Why is he even involved in this? This doesn't really benefit him and it keeps Rokuhara in place. I guess that's his goal. Doesn't seem to help his supposed obsession with Kinsego. In fact, Kinsego doesn't even factor into this plan. A little bit unusual.
そもそもの発端はかのウォルフ氏による爆弾の素材となる物質の発見なのだとか。
It began when Wolf discovered the necessary ingredient.
彼が
He discovered
イ
it.
ンド北西部のマウンド・オブ・ザ・デッドで発掘したそうです。そのプルートニアヌアと名付けた重金属を。
Called plutonium, supposedly he found it in western India near the ruins of Mohenjo-daro.
ま、言われはともかく、鉄塔鉄尾、ただひたすらに迷惑千番極まる代物がヤマトに持ち込まれてしまっていることは事実です。
Plutonium is the key material, so he's making a nuke. In any case, one thing I know is that this piece of hell itself is here on Yamato at this very moment.
それとも影明様、暇を持て余した私が影明様をからかって笑うために一芝居打っているとお考えになる？
Do you think me so cruel as to teach you about a thing like this?
それはそれでごくスムーズに納
I
得
can
が可
easily
能な
believe
の
that
です
actually. Okay. Experience taught me well.
狼少年の悲哀。
The girl who cried
置
wolf.
いておきましょうして態度具体
Set
的
it
な
aside
爆
for
撃
now.
手
Do
順
you know
に
how
つい
they'll
て
deliver the
は
bomb?
推測混じりになりますが、
If an educated guess will
お
do,
願いします
please.
想定されている爆弾の破壊規模から考えて飛行艦が実際の投下まで行うとは思えません。
Given the effect the bomb is expected to have, it's unlikely they drop it directly from the
低
airship.
高度で投下すれば爆発に巻き込まれます。といって高高度からの投下では命中精度に信頼を置けません。
High altitude bomb drops are not generally accurate, but descend low enough to guarantee a hit, and they risk blowing themselves up together with the target.
確かに
I see.
最終的にはやはりドラグーンを頼ることになるでしょう。それも足の速いかつフダラクの防空隊に捕捉されない能力を備えた機体。
I expect they'll wait until they've gotten in close, then use a Dragoon, one quiet and fast, enough to make it through the air defenses.
では
You mean?
ST-109 ステルスドラコが初の実戦投入という運びになるのではありませんかしら。軍事史的にいろいろと意味の大きな作戦になって結構ですこ
The
と。
world's first stealth Dragoon, except for like the other 20 that exist. I'd be very surprised if they didn't intend for this to be its debut. What a day for military history.
完成していたのですか
Complete. The AEF
ヤ
actually
マト
has
進
them.
駐軍に配備されていると
ええ、影明様、これは確実な情報です。
Most
最終
darling, there's
運
no
用強化
question.
試験まで終えた ST-109 の部隊がここには待機していましたよ。
A full wing of ST-9s has been assigned to Yokohama.
それもこれもキャノン中佐の手腕と申し上げたら尻尾をお巻きになる。
I told you it was all Colonel Cannon's doing. Would you turn tail and run?
負けるものなら巻きたいと
If only I
切
could.
に思います
According to Captain Otori, the colonel was behind the prince's downfall, and by extension my father's. Obviously, he's not a man who I can hope to outplay. My one chance is that he doesn't seem to consider me as a threat. Pathetic, but it will do.
来世は尻尾のある動物に生まれましょう
I pray in my next life I have a tail to turn.
可愛がって差し上げましてよ。飛行艦は爆発の影響を受けないギリギリのところまで近づいて反転。
Oh, I'd love to keep you as a pet. The Mayfly will advance to minimum safe distance. upon which it will reverse course and launch a single ST9 from its rear
その
catapult.
直前、カタパルトから爆走した ST-109 が出撃。瞬足に物を言わせて、立ちどころに不堕落城上空へ到達。
The ST9 is fast and all but invisible to radar. It'll slip past Fudaraku's aerial defenses and deploy the forged
フォ
bomb.
ージドボムを投下。そのまま速度を維持して危険空域から離脱。爆弾は地面に落ちるまでは待たない。
After delivering the payload, the Dragoon will maintain course, evacuating the blast dome with all possible speed. As for the bomb itself, it'll never reach the ground.
空中の適切な位置で爆発。不堕落城は外周部分だけ残して消滅。もちろん国氏殿下の大将領戦儀式典のために集まっていた将兵も完全応殺。
The timed airburst, Fudaraku will vanish together with all the shogunate officers and armies present.
六原は事実上滅亡。大和は主権国家の具体的根拠である軍事力を喪失して大英連邦の従属国になり下がります。
Thus, Rokuhara will fall, and Yamato, having lost the only power to defend its sovereignty, will have no choice but to accept British rule.
阻止するには
How do we stop it?
まず影明様のお考
First,
え
I
を
want
ど
your
うぞ。
idea. I mean, it seems pretty easy. Kageaki goes up. Chop, chop, chop. The end.
今直ちに行動を起こし
We make our
問
move
題
now,
の
secure
爆
the
弾を
bomb,
奪取
and disable or
解
dispose
体
of
も
it.
しくは回収
非現実的です。鍛造ライダーの保管場所は見当がついていますが、警備が厳しく、こちら
I
の
believe
戦
I
力
know where
で
the
突破
bomb's
できるとは考
stored.
えら
The
れませ
security's
ん。
too tight. We don't have the manpower. Joke's on you. If it's a nuclear device, all you need to do is blow it up, and then you'll be fine. They don't natively deactivate. You need to send a signal and have it. Yeah, you need to send an electronic signal to make that happen. Pretty safe to, explode it early.
運搬手段ビッカー
Destroy
ス
the
を破
airship,
壊
stop them from delivering it.
飛行艦なら他にもありましてよ。
There are other ships. Do you
全部
think we can
叩
get
き
them all?
壊して回ります？
六原へ作戦を密告
Form Rokuhara.
やって損はないかもしれませんが、向こうが話を鵜呑みにして必要な防御措置を取るという保証は。
キャノン中佐の暗殺いや拘束
Assassinate or detain Colonel Cannon.
無意味です。作戦立案は中佐の独創であっても、実行は誰にだってできますもの。
Doesn't matter.
別
The
の
plan's
将校が
his,
代理で指揮を取るだけです。
but he's not an essential part of it. Someone else will just take over.
他にはいかが？
Anything else?
すでに大尉殿の腹はお決まりの様子
I suspect you've already made your decision.
はい、実はちょっと意地悪でしたかしら。
That would spoil the fun.
水際阻止
You plan to stop them in the air?
秘密作戦の性質上、動員兵力はごく小規模にとどめざるを得ない。小
Given
型
the
の飛
secret
行
nature of the
艦が一
operation,
隻
the bomb can
そ
only
れ
have
に
a
搭
limited
乗する
escort.
兵員が数十人。これで全てのはずです。
A small airship, a few dozen men.
作用を含めても総勢3人の私たちが勝利するには、この小部隊が空で孤立無援になる作戦行動中を狙うしかありません。
For the three of us, that includes Sayo, to have a chance of stopping them, we must make our move while they're in transit, cut off from reinforcements.
通り
Makes sense.
私とサヨはあらかじめ飛行艦に潜り込んでおくことにしましょう。影明様は鎌倉へ航行する船を途上で襲い突入して
Sayo
く
and
ださ
I
い
will
ませ。
sneak aboard the ship before launch. I'd like you to stage an attack from the air. How on earth are they hiding in such a small plane?
剣は使えるように取り計らっておきます。
I'll ensure that your Sarugi is available to you.
なるほど
It's the attack from
内
two
と外
angles.
から攻撃し
This
攪
will
乱
range
す
them.
る
ええ。そうして爆弾を奪って解体するか相模湾へ投棄というあたりで。
We can
う
either
かつに
attempt to
投棄
disable
も
it
で
or
きない
drop
ほ
it.
どどちくしょうな代物だった場合には仕方ありませんから。
We can either attempt to disable it or drop it in Sagami Bay if there's no way to do either safely.
二人で絶海の無人島にでも行ってそこで爆発させてしまいましょうか。若い命はあえなく散りけれど二人の愛は永遠に。天空を貫く火柱は悲恋のモニュメント。
Oh, then, I mean, if there's no way to do either of those things safely, I guess we'll just have to detonate it on a deserted island, won't we? Our young lives may fade to ash, but our love will last forever. Let this pillar of flame be a monument to us.
了解です
As you wish.
はい。
あなたがそれを望まれるなら自分に依存はありません
If
お
that's
供
your
いたします
decision, I'll obey. We die together.
大尉殿
Captain?
いえ。
Nothing.
まあそこまでせずとも済むでしょう。幕府を一発で掃討できるような機会は限られます。宣言式典が終わるまで爆弾を確保していられればひとまず危機は去るかと。
Honestly, I don't believe it'll be necessary. The colonel only has one chance to cut off Rokuhara's head. If we can secure the bomb until after the ceremony, that should be enough. Understood. 7:49. So he goes at like 300 kilometers an hour. It would not take him long to catch up at all. Is that it?
そうだ。
Yeah, we got him.
見つけた。
3 minutes after escaping Yokohama, we spot an enormous balloon in the sky. It's about as fast as we could have hoped to find it. The ship had been forced to veer south with the wind, so it might have taken longer if we'd been limited to searching along her planned course. Fortunately, Miss Nagakura anticipated this and snuck a transmitter on board. Its signal sent us straight to our target. Now we make the most of the time we've saved. An airship is most vulnerable when approached from above, where balloon blocks line of sight. Will have shown up on radar by now, but without visual confirmation, they won't know if we're friend, foe, or a large flock of birds. It's huge.
軍用飛行船としては小さなものだ。
Not for a military airship. The Vickers Mark IV measures 140 meters from bow to stern, a mere quarter of that of the Graf Zeppelin, which circumnavigated the globe. Of course, compared to a Musha, it might as well be a castle.
どうしてこんな城みたいなものが空に浮くのよ。
It's like a flying castle. How does it even?
原理は単純だ。空気より軽い気体があの袋に詰まっている。
Balloon contains a gas lighter than the surrounding air.
何なのかしら。城は飛ぶし、
Flying castle.
城を一発で吹き飛ばす家具は
A
あるって
weapon
言
that
うし、
wipes out cities.
時代の差が身に染みて、なんか切なくて嫌なんだけ
I feel
ど。
like the world left me behind, and I have to say I don't like it one bit.
老け込むのは後にしろ。
Lament your age later, old
上から回
lady.
り込む。操縦室を直撃する。
For now, let's get ahead of them and attack the bridge directly.
操舵士の身柄を抑え、進路を変えさせることができれば、
If
時
we
間
can
稼
secure
ぎ
the
になる
helm,
はずだ。
we can force them to change course. That will buy us more time to find the bomb.
了解。
一応確認するが、周辺に敵機はないな。
Just to confirm, no other contacts in the area?
なし。この空域にいるのは私たちと下の空飛ぶ船だけよ。
None, it's just us and that monstrosity there. They don't even wait for the echo of Muramasa's assurance to fade. 3, 2, 1, ambushed by the ninjas. No way.
そんな、
I'm
ちょっと、
Don't
本
tell
当
me
に
I'm
老け
really
て、
going
老
senile.
けたの私。
いや、
You're not. But I might be. Captain Otori told me a full wing, she said. How could I forget? Did I think this plan would use only one? Did I think this airship wouldn't have a screen of invisible watchdogs?
あれはいつぞやのラッパの同類だ。
Call the outlaw of Soshu?
ラッパ。あのガッサン主催員？
Oh, you mean Gasan? Jusan me?
信号反射を最小限に抑える鋼鉄構造を持つ。加えて、飛行管の影に潜むようにして寄港していたのだろう。
These Tsurugi were built to absorb radar, and I'd wager they are hiding in the airship's shadow until now. That would shield them from sight as well. Only the thermal sensors might have detected their presence, but I didn't think to activate the function. If I had, it might have given us time to plot a different approach. And now it's too late.
どうするの？
What do we do? From the way they fly, I can easily judge their capabilities and the capabilities of their machines. Both are first rate, as I'd expect. Colonel Cannon handpicked the pilots for this mission, and the ST-9 is the absolute cutting edge of Western Dragoon technology. These are demons with wings, and I can't hope to fend them off while pursuing my mission.
船内に突入する。
We enter the airship.
どこから？
Where?
その辺からだ。
Anywhere. There's no time to go looking for the bridge. Captain Otori is counting on me for a distraction. I have to get inside and away from these stealth dragoons as quickly as possible.
あとは臨機応変。
We'll figure it out from there.
それ、行き当たりばったりって意味？
You mean we have no plan?
皇帝。
Affirmative. They got guns. Okay. Cutting edge. Juked in what, 1 second? Alright. I thirst. 750. I hunger for battle. For primacy. With the world at my feet, I will mount heaven's throne.
しかり
I am might, truth, The way of the
しか
sword.
らば
I am
ただ一個の部
lone warrior.
幽遠なる天へ挑む一匹のアリ
An ant challenging the sun.
なお
I
はお
am conquest.
どう神様、シシクは一体何をしているのです。
And what is Shishka doing?
さて、それがしにも分かり申さぬ。質問の使者を送っても梨のつぶて。
Haven't the faintest idea. All my messengers have been turned away.
我らが出向かねば拉致が開かぬやも
We might have to go ourselves if we hope to get a response.
勝手に軍を動かして、まさか謀反を。
Is he starting a coup? What are we supposed to think if he moves his armies without telling
う。
us?
それにしても妙でござろう。不穏の挙動を露骨にさらしながら、さて、何を置いても制すべき我らに矛先の伸びる気配は
It
依
is
然
strange.
なし。
He must have known this would draw our attention, and yet his men have not tried to kill either of us.
この不手際は合点が
Could
ゆ
have
か
been his
ね。
first move, like when he
以
took
前
House Otori.
大鳥家において獅子殿が成し遂げた謀反は電光石火。誠に鮮やかな始末であったと聞き
I
及
heard
ん
he
で
gave
ござる。
Tokitsugu no chance at all to respond.
なら、あのたわけ者どういうつもり
What's
で。
that fool doing then?
さて、
That is the question.
まったく、バカはちゃちゃまるだけで十分だってのに。そういえばあいつも何やってんのよ。
It was bad enough when Chachamaru was the crazy one. Where's that little beast anyway?
今日はお姿を見ませ
Haven't
ん
seen
が
her today. Yourself?
ライチョ殿は
見ておりません。こんなややこしい状況の時にどこで油を売ってるんだか。
The same. Of course she'd be off somewhere while we do all the work.
誰か
Who's on duty?
ほ
Here, General.
シローの国氏殿下の安否を確かめに行かせた連中はまだ戻らないの。もう随分経つじゃない。
Are those men we sent to check on Shiro? I mean, on Lord Kuniyuji. There's been no word.
は
I'm sorry, sir. They still haven't
お前も行ってきなさい。
find them now,
は
sir.
あ、もうっとい
God,
つも
what's wrong
こ
with
いつ
everyone
も。
today? It's gonna be a disaster for everyone. Bomb or no, that's what.
古傷が
My scars ache.
同
Reverend?
心様。
ライチョ殿我らの手元に残っている兵に戦闘配置を命ずるべきと存ずる
I believe we should direct our reigning forces to prepare for battle at once.
でも別に敵が攻め入ってきているわけでは。
Not as though we're under attack.
攻められてからでは遅う
By
ござ
then,
る
it'll be too late.
遅うござるぞライチョ殿直ちに武者どもを空へ上げ防空陣を張らせるべし命令は不審な航空機あらばこれを退去せしむこと
Order our militia to secure Fudaraku airspace. No unit not under our personal command is to be allowed through.
退去の勧告に従わずばこれを撃墜すべきことたとえそれが幕軍であろうと進駐軍であろうと
Those who not turn back are to be destroyed forthwith, even if those units belong to Rokuhara or GHQ.
それはあまりな暴挙。
That's madness.
暴挙でござる暴挙には暴挙をもってしか抗えぬ
Yes, but it behooves us to meet our foe in
戸
kind.
を蹴破って押し込んできた強盗に説法をくれてやって何となろうや白人の一戦にて切り伏せてからムクロに念仏を聞かせてやるべきでござろうよ
When a thief kicks down your door, do you soothe them with the teachings of the Buddha? Nope, just save the sermon for after you've chopped off the brigand's head.
そやつが本当に強盗であったならそれでよし無実であったとしても構いはせぬ強盗であったことにしてしまえばよい
Perhaps it turns out he was only a neighbor and thought he heard someone scream for help, but who will gainsay you now that he's dead?
法理を取るは常に力ある者ゆえ勝てばどうとでもなりましょうぞ
The strong are always in the right, we need only win. Why,
ど
Reverend?
もうここは戦場と
Are you
そう
saying
お
we're at
考
war?
えなのですね。
何者が仕掛けたいかなる戦なのかはまだ分かり申さぬが
I do not yet know why or with whom.
承知いたしました。ならばマロも今より戦と心得ま
Understood.
しょ
Then
う。
my duty's clear.
侍大将を呼び集めます。
I'll summon our commanders.
お急ぎくだされ
Hurry.
は
Of course.
申し上げます。
General's urgent report.
何事
Get with it.
どうしたの？早く報告なさい。銀星号がこの大城に突如。
Kinsego, sir! Kinsego's here! This guy's face! Oh my god! Reverend Doshin usually keeps his eyes shut, and his fucking reaction, he's just like, what? Are you shitting me? Yep. Doshin just opens his eyes and he's like, oh shit, well, he's like, oh shit, not this. 752. Ordinarily, one doesn't board an airship by smashing through the outer bulkhead in flight. To try is an excellent way to get oneself killed. By some miracle, however, I accomplished it intact. I can't linger. At any moment, my two pursuers will return, perhaps even through the hole I made. They certainly have the skill. The last thing I need to do is to find myself trapped between them and the men on this ship. I quickly assess the space in which I appear to find myself. It looks like a storeroom. I see cleaning supplies, drums of kerosene, but no sign of a bomb. The disarray is likely due to the depressurization caused by my forceful entrance. There are two exits, one towards the bow and one to the port, the left side of the ship. My goal, I remind myself, is evading capture while searching for the bomb. Which door should I take? But first, where are we intending to go? Which door should I take? Evade capture? I mean, port, sure. That is what the guide says. Quick save, my good friend. 752, 10. Footsteps echo down the narrow corridor. Not mine, they belong to the men of the ship, likely racing to locate the intruder. I'm near the stern of the ship. The corridor extends ahead towards the bridge. There's a door behind me and doors to both sides. The one to my right, starboard, leads back to the storeroom I entered the ship from. What now? No time to waste. You can go in all directions. Forward. Forward is the answer. Then 5220. I'm at the halfway point of the long, narrow corridor. While no GHQ personnel are in sight, I sense them in close by. An insignificant number, best be about it. From here I can head towards the bridge, or aft towards the stern, or take the door to starboard. I'm just following the guide. I do not know why it wants aft. It wants me to zigzag. I don't know why. I'm buying time, perhaps, for like a condition to clear. Same text as last time. We're near the stern of the ship. What now? No time to waste. Forward. 75240. Alright, same deal as last time when we were here. Now we do forward again. 75250. I'm at the bowmost end of the central corridor. It stretches towards the stern, empty well ahead. A large door bars my passage. There's also a door to starboard. What now? Okay, well, I assume we're going to take the starboard door. And I'm guessing the game was trying to get me, or the guide is trying to get me to avoid the room on the directly to the fore. Otherwise, it would have just been like four port. It would have been 4 port, forward, starboard, which would have made a little bit more sense. But you know, whatever. Oh, anyway, starboard. $7.53. The room is small but nicely appointed. This must be an officer's cabin, and yet it feels empty of life, like a model room, cold and colorless. Perhaps its occupant is not part of this mission. My eye is drawn to the desk, the bed, and the landscape painting that adorns one metal wall. It sways slightly with the motion of the ship. Was that not secured correctly? One bad shake could see it on the floor. There's nothing of interest, and nothing that resembles a bomb here. I should go elsewhere. At the bowmost end of the central corridor, it stretches toward the stern, empty well ahead, blah 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 blah. Once we're back here, aka forcibly move, We're gonna move to the aft twice. First aft movement. Don't ask me why we have to do it in this order. I tried doing things my way, and that's how I got everyone to die multiple times. Because I made assumptions like, surely they just want you to go directly to these rooms. An assumption like that makes perfect sense. But this is a stealth level, so there's presumably a requirement for timing. Like if you don't do them in exactly this order, you get caught or something. Aft, aft. And now port. We're going into the room across the hallway from where we started. Okay. Inside. I enter a room filled with tables and chairs, the mess hall, or perhaps a meeting room. The man in the corner immediately draws my attention. He's wearing a dressed-down GHQ uniform, an enemy soldier. The one thing the ship has in spades, and I ready myself for hostile action. The man neither draws his pistol nor calls for help. If he knows I'm here, he doesn't know that I'm a threat. Clearly, he's quite drunk.
Excuse me?
Excuse me? My hesitant approach draws no coherent response, and he takes a long drink from his bottle of cheap whiskey, then babbles in English at a speed too fast for my limited ability to decipher. All I can make out are some curses and a demand I bring him something. What? In any case, there's nothing I can do at the moment. It's curious that a man so impaired was allowed aboard for this secret mission, but for now, I'm just thankful there wasn't an altercation. Looking around, I spot a door leading off toward the bow. The only other exit's the one I came through. We should head towards the bow. I enter a well-appointed kitchen. Airships are valued for the time they can remain in the air, and they're often assigned to long-term operations that see them weeks away from a port, as on a naval ship that demands a fully stocked mess. I look up at the ceiling, suddenly on alert. Was it my imagination? I could have sworn I heard something and felt a presence just now. I suppose there's no reason a GHQ soldier would hide in the ceiling. Perhaps the ship has rats? The kitchen is where they would be, of course. In any case, I shouldn't stand around wondering. My next course of action is... find a pestle, turn on the stove, check the refrigerator. What? None of these sound productive. Leave. If the game told me that, I'd be so freaking confused. Or the guide told me that, I'd be so confused. Where to now? Forward. Alright, into a storage room. Okay, storage room for the kitchen. I see boxes of fruit, shelves of cooking wine, racks of dishes and silverware, and of course no bomb. Should I take something with me? An aerosol gas can. That's right, we're gonna Hindenburg this bitch. I picked up a small aerosol can full of gas. It's well past the expiration date. Hopefully it doesn't leak enough to knock me unconscious while I'm searching the ship. With only one exit, I return to the kitchen. And back to the kitchen. What are we gonna do? Well, we have an aerosol can now. Looking up at the ceiling, same deal. This time, let's do something fun. We'll turn on the stove. Is it a gas stove, perhaps? Wait, aren't I carrying a leaky gas can? I throw the hissing can toward the ceiling just in the nick of time. The explosion doesn't touch me. It does, however, open a hole through which something falls to the deck with a thud. Two things, actually, each bearing a strong resemblance to one of my lady companions, albeit slightly charred.
Kageaki-sama, go kigen-yo.
Why, hello there, darling.
いや、なんとも熱烈な歓迎でございますな、港様。この際を、あなた様のことを少々甘く見ていたのやもしれませぬ。
Perhaps I
まさか
underestimated your
こう
talents
い
as
う
a
う
comedian.
ちのお嬢様に通じる酷烈なギャグセンスをお持ちであったとは。
Perhaps my mistress has competition. After all, yeah, the game suddenly became a point-and-click adventure for 2 minutes. Alas, given the rigidity of the route selection, I don't have a reason to believe that it would actually just be an adventure I could solve without like some absurdly specific timings that are hidden from you. The dialogue whenever you enter an area has been repeated every time so far. So there's no way for you to know if anything changed or the state of anything changed. Just kind of annoying.
No.
Why?
昨日の内側に潜んで待っていたところに影役様の襲撃とおぼしき轟音が聞こえたので私たちも動き始めたのですが
We were hiding in the balloon, and when we heard the ruckus your entrance caused, we decided to see what was what.
潜入に使用した経路が施錠されてしまっておりましてな。どうにか船体の天井裏までは降りて、さてこれからいかにと悩んでいましたところ。
The passage we used to get there was locked, so we had no choice but to find our way into the upper bulkhead. And just when we were wondering what to do next, an explosion.
突然足元で爆発が起きて
Yeah, an explosion. How weird, right?
Cool.
Yes.
ありがたいことに天井板に大穴が開き、嬉しいことに3メートルも落下して床に激突しつつ脱出を果たせ、感動的なことにそこには港様と火のついたコンロと異様なガス
And
臭
imagine
が
our surprise, our awe when we completed our stirring 3-meter descent, only to find you there, sir, next to a lit stove stinking of gas.
人生最大級のスーパーハッピータイムよね。まるで仏滅とワルプルギスが一緒に来たみたい。
What a joyous day, like having Walpurgis Noctfall on Friday the 13th. That doesn't sound like a good thing.
そうですか。
Glad I could be of
お役に
service.
立てたようで何よりです。
本当
Oh,
に
me too. The captain brushes some cinders from her hair.
よきかなよきかな。
What glorious reunion. Her servant brushes some embers from her jacket. I, meanwhile, consider our course of action. The bloodlust curdling the air makes moving difficult, but we should probably leave as quickly as possible. There's no telling when someone might come to check on that explosion. In any case, now that we're all together, the Otori pair will be able to add their unique skills to the search. Perhaps some new discoveries will come of it? Assuming that is, I make it through the next few seconds without a bullet to the head. Where to now? Aft. If I was playing as myself, I'd say we have rooms we haven't checked, but that's less important. The drunken man is still here, though as before I'm unable to make heads or tails of his caterwauling. My companions, however.
タイドン。
Yep.
それがこの方は飛行艦の本来のキャプテンなのだそうです。
He says he's the ship's captain. But why isn't he on the bridge instead of drinking himself into a stupor?
キャノン中佐が作戦のために船だけを接収しようとしたのに抵抗して強引に乗艦したものの結局作戦には加えてもらえず仕方なくここで管を巻いているようです。
Seems the colonel took command of the ship. The gentleman has asserted his right to remain on board, but they wouldn't let him participate in the operation, so he's here drowning his sorrows.
ほう。
I see.
キャノン中佐も酷な真似をなさる。飛行艦の艦長が船を愛すること海の同業者にも劣りますまいに。
A terrible business. Airship captains love their commands no less than sailors love theirs.
ほんとね。
The colonel can be cruel.
中佐にしてみれば機密保持のための当然の措置なのでしょう
He must have decided
がしかし
it necessary to maintain
す
operational
ると彼
security.
が何やら要求しているのは
In any case, do we know what the captain wants?
お酒です。こんな水臭いエロもどきでおるか。温度のジンを割ってこい。とのお言葉。
A better class of drink. Gin, ideally. It reminds him of home, not this piss water ale.
そう申されましてもね。
Nothing. Well, it's theoretically possible this man has sufficient ill will towards the colonel to help us. Won't be much use in his present state. We should move on. Back to the corridor. At least it was a fun interaction. The wasted man actually being someone relevant instead of some useless guy who got wasted the night before or something. Alright, return to the corridor. What now? Forward! And then next. Starboard! We're checking out the room we haven't checked at last. Oh, like starboard, right? Yeah. As I move towards the door, Miss Nagakura preempts me. A moment, sir. Something the matter? There's someone inside, a soldier, I believe, armed. He's looking for something. Oh? Seems likely. What shall we do? We'll avoid conflict. We should avoid conflict. Search this place later. Okay. I'm afraid that's not an option. Pardon? He's coming. Coming? The soldier's about to leave the room? There's no time to hide. We have to take the initiative, get inside and neutralize him before we can raise the alarm. Okay, okay. Thinking. Like the shared glance tells us, we reach the same conclusion. All that remains is to decide who will execute it. The door isn't wide enough for more than one of us to enter at a time. Who will it be? Me, of course. Me! Damn. That was far too much force. Instead of merely delivering a concussion, I sent the man flying into the far wall. It was a mistake for me, a Musha, to assume this role in the first place. Yeah, but no one would die. I hurriedly check his condition, and luckily he doesn't seem seriously hurt. It'll take him some time to regain consciousness, but I need not be concerned about carrying him here. Leaving him out here without care. Okay. How utterly merciless. That's what I love about you, dear. As they say, the lion spares no fury hunting rabbits. Well done, sir. Their praise sounds completely sincere, whether or not it truly is. Better than this than some half-hearted attempt to absolve me. Together we quickly search the room, and together, finding nothing of note, we return to the main ship's main corridor. Okay. Alright, we're back at the middle of the ship. And I kind of want to just like click the good old save button. In the event something goes wrong, it's better to reload here. At a point where we think things are going correctly. So I've gone. Next is forward. Let's see, we returned to corridor. We went forward and starboard. Now we're going to go forward and starboard again. Okay, we're going into this entrance. There's a lot to do in this section of the ship. 7:55. Colonel, sir. Report.
後部ブロックの倉庫です。敵機はそこから壁を破り、船内に侵入した模様。
Enemy dragoons aboard, sir. He appears to have entered through the aft storeroom.
やっぱ侵入されてたか。どこのどなた様だい。あと一歩ってところだい。
Who's trying to spoil our party?
やはり六原のものでは。
Most likely Rokuhara, sir.
一機だけでか。絶対にありえない話じゃないが。
Why would they send one man? I suppose it's possible.
それより可能性があるとすればあっちかね。
If I were a betting man, I'd put my money on him.
中佐、ご指示を。
What are your orders, sir?
後部ブロックに増援を回しますか。
We send reinforcements?
いや、
No.
今は投下準備を急げ。艦内兵力はその防衛に集中。
Send everyone to guard the device and make sure we're ready for the drop.
侵入者の制圧はそっちの方がついてからでいい。
Afterward, I'll take care of our guest myself.
了解。
Sir. Alright, they're going. He's going for it. An officer's quarters empty with nothing of interest. We should move. Oh. Darling, look. A painting depicting a natural and rather bland landscape lies upon the deck. The room is otherwise perfectly tidy, so it must have fallen from there, I suspect. By a hidden compartment. Or so it would seem. A small shelf has been set into the bulkhead, just large enough for the painting to hide. I step closer to see what's inside. Liquor. The label on the bottle is English and depicts one of the yeoman warders, the queen's personal bodyguard.
イングリッシュジンですね。
English gin?
まあまあ悪くない品でございます。されど港様、お飲みになるなら何かで割られた方がよろしいですぞ。
Not a poor brand either, though I dare say it would serve best mixed.
飲みません。
I'll abstain. Though I suppose it can't hurt to take the bottle. Yeah, I don't want to drink this alcohol, but I'll just randomly take it. Yeah, because obviously the next step is probably going to be to deliver it to that guy. Let me guess. What do we have to do? Aft, port? Yes, that's correct. Don't know why we have to deliver alcohol to this guy, but the guide says we have to. At least this one we can intuit like what we're supposed to do for this. Once we see the alcohol, I just don't know what the wall is that prevents us from proceeding if we don't give this guy gin. Like, what is the wall preventing us from doing anything here? I don't know. The airship's captain is here, whining into a mug of ale. Supposedly he wants gin. And as it so happens, we have the bottle of gin from the officers' quarters. It does us no good, so I decide to give it to the captain. I set the bottle in front of him, and upon spying the label, he bolts upright, looses a whoop of joy, and unscrews the cap, pouring its contents down his throat. In seconds, the gin is gone. A thunk echoes through the room as the captain's head hits the table. Afterward, there's only the sound of snoring as he sinks into blissful slumber.
一日一膳?
One good deed a day?
そんなところでございましょうか。しかし我々、この状況でえらい余裕ですな。
I suppose our present circumstances weren't quite severe enough to postpone it? Apparently not. Either way, the captain has his drunken repose, and we, on the other hand, have nothing. Except this guy won't be awake to, like, backstab us or something. I assume that's what he does. We should move on. Back to the corridor, perhaps? Okay, now we're presumably stalling. Because the guide says, go port again. The guide actually says go port again. The airship's captain's here, deep in peaceful slumber. I suppose he might be grateful for us helping him there, but he's currently in no state to show it. We should move on. Back to corridor. Yes, the guide actually says do that. We need to confirm he's asleep or something, I don't know. Either that or stalling for time. Because it keeps giving us timers. And now we are going aft. I almost clicked port. We're gonna be moving aft. Alright. So are the guards here? Oh, 7:56:10. This is the observation deck at the aftmost end of the ship. Its windows, though not as large as they might be on a passenger ship, afford a beautiful view of the landscape below. Unfortunately, there's nothing else to draw my attention. As we go to leave, the captain stops. Frowning, she stares at a spot on the floor.
いかがなさいましたか?
Have you found something? Instead of answering, she walks to the spot and kneels down. I move to the other side while Miss Nagakura's guards the door.
影焼様、これを。
Kageaki-sama, look at this. I follow her pointing finger and it looks like an indentation in the floor. She reaches out and runs her fingernail over it.
これは?
That's
鍵穴。
a keyhole. So it appears it was hidden beneath a small piece of metal.
しかし、何のための?
But what does it unlock?
扉かと。
A hatch, I imagine.
扉?
How can you tell?
ご覧くださいまし。床のこの辺りの50センチ四方。
Look at this part of the floor, about 50 centimeters
ぴった
square.
りと合わさってはいますが、よく見てみると筋がありません？
It's tightly fitted, but you should be able to make out a line. And she's right.
では、
Captain?
この下には何かがあって、そしてそれはこんな方法で隠さなくてはならないものということになりますね。
Something they want to hide.
切り破って。うわ、危
Should we
険が
cut
大
through,
きす
or
ぎ
would
ま
that
すか?
be too great a risk?
そうですね。万一のことを考えますと、急がば回れの戒めに従って、ひとまず鍵を探してみましょう。
Well, I suppose there's a chance he could set something off. Let's make that our last resort and see if we can find the key first.
了解です。
Understood. But where will we find that? Footsteps echo down the corridor, not mine. They belong to the intruder. Blah blah blah. What time to wait? Oh, excuse me. What? That's not good. We have made a mistake somewhere. Let me just go through this in my head. It looked like we did everything right. We got the aerosol gas can, we turned on the stove. We returned to the room. I went to the corridor, forward starboard. I went in, forward starboard. That looks good. Then we went aft, in port. Return to the corridor. Port. Return to the corridor. Aft. I have made a mistake somewhere, and I'm not sure where. That's not good. The airship exploration should be over. Do I just keep clicking aft? As the instructions are telling me that the next action I should be taking is a defend action, not a directional action. I could potentially go forward. I will see. There should be no other actions. Where would the key be? Let's try port. Drunk guy. Now I have to do this on my own, right? Airship's captain. Here we go. Okay. Alright. So he's sleeping, or is he? This is his ship, and that means? Gently I search his pockets. Darling, I suspect this might be the case, but are you truly so inclined? Hold up, let's play this.
影焼様、もしかしてと思ってはいましたけれど、本当にそっち系のご趣味でしたの?
He is behaving rather hardcore, mistress, though I believe he has a secondary objective as well.
ハードコアでございますな。しかしお嬢様、どうやらそれはついでのことで、主の目的は別に終わりのようですよ。
Yeah.
ございますな。
なるほど。
Finally, they seem to understand, or do they? I feel like there might be still an egregious misjudgment of character in progress. Best not to think about it after a moment.
ありました。
He has it. I hold up a tiny key just the right size to open the door on the observation deck. We can't be sure it's the right key, but it's certainly worth a try.
Good job.
Good
お
job.
手柄でございますな、港様。ご褒美にそのまま続けてどうぞ。
何をですか?
Continue what? We should move on. Back to the corridor. So I guess the guide did not give us instructions to go there first. Thankfully we made the right choice because we're probably on a timer here. Or at least I think we made the right choice. It was kind of an easy answer once you knew what everyone was. Once you know he's the captain, you're like, there's got to be something he has on him that's relevant. We don't just need to get him drunk. Or hopefully we don't. Alright, blah blah blah, there's nothing else. Except for this one thing, the hidden door. And we have the captain's key now. I take the key out and with a silent prayer insert it into the lock. If it doesn't work, we're out of luck and there's no time to search for another key. It worked, the panel comes off easily, revealing a set of steps leading down. Captain? Yes? We're out of options, there's no time to hesitate. I go first, muffling my footsteps. Captain Otori follows, her servant as close as her shadow, and together we descend into the dark underbelly of the airship.
時だ!
It's time!
来たれ! 我が神よ!
Oh God. Now Deus, show yourself.
ございましたな。
Here we are.
これが?
This is it?
ええ。横浜基地の中で一度遠目に見ました。
We saw it once on
おそら
base.
く間違いはないかと。
It rises a few centimeters above my head and it looks vaguely like the bell at a temple. A mass of steel, cold and silent, yet I know its true nature, so I can't help but fear it, as if it were the statue of some demonic god. So this is the forged bomb? At the sound of racing footsteps, I whirl to face the door. A squad of armed soldiers led by a dragoon. We're at a disadvantage here and there's nowhere to run. My companions don't seem to have the benefit of armor. If the enemy spreads out and puts us under fire, they may not make it out alive. But of course, the captain sees this too, and before any man can aim his gun, she aims hers at the forged bomb. The soldiers freeze, confusion on their faces.
そうそう。そのまま動かずにいてくださいな。
That's it, gentlemen. No sudden moves now.
何の真似だ。招かれざる大和人。
What's going on here? You're not part of this mission.
これが何か、キャノン中佐から聞いていらっしゃらないの？
Did the colonel tell you what this is?
あら、でもそうか。警備隊にこんな機密まで教えておく必要はありませんものね。けれど、危険物だってことくらいはご存知でしょ？
Oh, well, I suppose there's no need for those guarding it to know. You've heard it's quite dangerous?
それは聞いている。
Of course.
危険も危険。これは今から不堕落城に落として、みんな根こそぎ消し飛ばしてしまう予定の新型爆弾です。
One big enough to destroy Fudaraku entirely.
なんだと？
Wait, what?
だから動かないでくださいまし。どなたかが一歩でも動いたら、ズキュンと言って、ボッカーン
So I reiterate, please remain where you are. Anyone takes so much of the step, and we're all going kaboom!
我々全員空の地理でございます。インデンブルク号以来の大惨事として歴史には記されましょうな。
I expect it'll be worse than the Hindenburg disaster, bits of us falling like rain from the sky. I mean, I did say to make us like the Hindenburg. I wasn't expecting it so soon, Otori.
でたらめを。
You're bluffing?
真っ赤な嘘と断定できる根拠は終わり？
Are you willing to bet your life on that?
これは純然たる忠告として申し上げますが、キャノン中佐にお伺いを立てられてはいかがでしょう。
If you have any doubts, I strongly suggest you take them up with the colonel.
その必要はない。それが本当に貴様らの言う通りの爆弾だとしても、銃弾の一発程度で起爆するようには見えんぞ。
There's no way that rifle will set it off.
あら、ほんと。そういうわけですから、影焼様。
Oh, that's an excellent point, darling.
ほ。
Captain?
いざとなったらこの爆弾、叩き切ってくださいませ。
Would you be so kind as to cut this bomb in half?
御意。
Understood.
何？
Wait.
親切なお人ですな。大丈夫だと思ったならすぐ行動してしまえばよろしいものを。わざわざこちらにご助言くださるとは。
You could have shot first if you truly believed it's safe.
先ほどの忠告の返礼でございますかな。英国紳士の名に恥じぬ見事な振る舞いと申せましょうぞ。
You meant to repay us for the warning? Most knightly of you, sir. A frustrating end for him, I'm sure. It would appear when building the roster for this mission, the colonel selected for loyalty and not guile. A wise choice, I'm sure, but in this instance, one that works in our favor. I have no doubt the captain would string this man along for another 100 years. But that's no reason to celebrate. Our position remains precarious, with death but a footstep away. If only we found the bomb a little sooner. As is, we have no hope of disabling or destroying it. We're trapped, and the captain knows it. I can tell from the subtle clues of body language that she's not nearly as confident as she seems.
影焼様。
Darling?
おい。
Captain?
このまま時間を稼ぎましょう。そうですね。10分ばかり。
We just need to maintain this stalemate for another 10 minutes.
それから爆弾の安全な返還と引き換えに私たちの解放を要求するということでいかが？
Afterward, we can trade the bomb for safe passage. How's that sound?
10分でよろしいのですか？
10 minutes, is that enough?
それだけあれば船はどうしたって不堕落上空を行き過ぎてしまいますもの。落としたくてももう落とせません。
In 10 minutes, we'll have passed Fudaraku. They'll no longer be able to drop the bomb.
しかし、
They could hover the ship or they could turn around.
六原もバカではなくてよ、影焼様。不堕落上空で進駐軍の飛行艦がいつまでもうろうろしていたらさすがに怪しむでしょうし。
Rokuhara isn't that stupid, dear. They'll be all over the ship if it does anything like that.
そんなリスクを無視して作戦を強行できるキャノン中佐とも思えません。
I'm certain the colonel won't take the risk.
なるほど。
I see, alright.
では
10
10
minutes
分
then?
間。
ええ、10分。この形を引き伸ばせれば私たちの勝ち。
In 10 minutes, we'll have won.
これが実は爆弾と見せかけてこの船を守るフィギュアヘッド長身ウパニチャッター様でしたとかいうミラクルアンラッキーなオチが待ち構えていなければ
Unless
だ
this
けど。
contraption is actually a statue of great Upanishada. Panishada? Placed here to protect the ship.
大丈夫ですよ、お嬢様。星占いによる
I
と
wouldn't worry over much,
今
mister.
月の魚座生まれは幸運に恵まれるそうでございますから。
According to today's horoscope, Pisces can expect excellent luck.
本当？
Is that true?
は。ただし、恋愛運は未来永劫最低を極めるとのこと。
So it did say where love was concerned, you'd be cursed with bad luck forever. Furutori.
彼らが制圧に踏み切った
Captain,
場
what
合
if they attempt to take
いか
us?
がなさいますか。
その時はさっきお願いした通りになさってくださいな。
Please do as I ask and destroy the bomb.
本当に切れと。
You were serious?
運があれば爆発もせず、爆弾が機能を失うだけで済みます。
If we're lucky, you'll disable it without killing us.
魚座の運勢にかけますか。
We'll just have to hope the horoscope was right.
運つたなく爆発させてしまった
And if
の
our
は
luck doesn't hold,
この
oh
際
well.
構いませんでしょう。
How is this bomb being deployed? It doesn't seem ready to go yet. Looking at the picture, it's sitting on like a metal scaffolding to support it, but they still have to transport it, right? Or at least transport it to where they're releasing it? Like, or are they at, or is this like the carrying bay and they can just open the, like they can't open the bottom out, right? That would make things way too easy for them. It would be a funny end though.
正規の手順による爆発ではありませんから、威力も相当に目減りするはずです。加えて、ここは航空。
Without the proper detonation process, the explosion should lack its intended force, and given our altitude,
おそらく地上に被害は及びません。
there'll be no damage to the city or the castle. The Kamakura and Rokuhara will be safe, but everyone here on the ship will almost certainly die.
つまらないことを考えてらっしゃる？
Are you planning something foolish?
船のどこかにパラシュートの備えくらいはあると思われます。
There'll be parachutes aboard. Use them, Captain.
こ
I'll
の
maintain
自
the
分にお
stand-up.
任せいただき。
そんなものを探している暇があると思われますの？
You honestly think there's time for that?
しかし、
しかしはなし。
No buts, dear.
されど大度のこたびの試みはそもそも
But
自
Captain,
分
we're
の
here
信
because of
念
what I
が
said.
原
I
因で
should be
す。
the one to bear the burden.
ヤマトの将来のあり方について思うところを聞かせてくださったのは影明様。
You shared your
それを
hopes for
聞
Yamato's
いて
future.
こうすること
I'm the
を
one
決
who
めたのは
decided to lend a hand in
私。
realizing them.
影明様が言われるような筋なんてございません。
You're wrong. The burden isn't yours at all. Okay. Captain,
しかしは禁止。
no more buts.
それ
Is
で
this what you want?
良い悪いの話ではありませんの。
It's not what I want, dear. I'm an
私は
authority.
大鳥。この国のためにすべきことをする。
I'll do what
それは
Yamato requires. It's my
私の義務
duty.
なのです。
Bound
血
to
が
my
命
blood.
ずる定めです。
If it's a matter of honor, so be it. To press the issue further would be an insult.
影明様こそ、私に付き合わなくてはならない義理などなし。
You're
お逃げ
welcome
に
to
なっても
escape,
結
though.
構ですの
No
よ。
reason you die with me.
冗談は糸目だけにし
A
てい
poor
ただきたい
joke, Captain. Just like your squint. Did she just laugh?
失礼。しかし大鳥隊自
Oh,
分の
I
信
apologize.
念は
However,
すで
as I
にあ
said
なた
before,
の
my
承
life
知をお
belongs
預
to
け
you
してお
now.
ります。大義がこの空
It's
に
your
散ら
time
れ
to
る
die.
の
It's
なら
mine
ば
as well.
影明様には
You have a duty,
影
or
明
have you
様の使
forgotten
命が終わり
Ginsego?
でしょうに。銀星号のことをお忘れになったの？
全く忘れておりません。
I haven't, which is why I'm asking
ですの
you
で
to
大
do
義
everything in your power to
こ
survive.
の場は是が非でも無事に切り抜けて大殿が生き延びてくだされば
As long as
自
you're
分
alive,
も
my
我の
mission
追
can
跡を続け
continue.
られます。
Let's see.
まあ、そ
Seems
うい
living
う
would
こ
be
と
best
で
for
す
us,
か
don't you
な。
agree? Muramasa? Or mistress?
ええ、そうね。
Oh.
という次第で内緒話タイムは終了いたしました。
In the
こ
case,
っ
I believe
そ
our
り
conference
背後
is
に
over.
回ろうとなさるのはおやめになった方がよろしいですよ。
Now, if you gentlemen would please stop trying to sneak behind us.
そうか。あと3秒あればどうにかなったんだが。
Damn, I just needed 3 more seconds.
中佐
Colonel, sir? He appears abruptly, dropping from the ceiling. How long had he been there? Why did no one notice? Even his own men are speechless, and of all of us, only Miss Nagakura is unshaken.
ご苦労さん。あとは俺が引き受ける。
Good work, man. I'll take it from here.
はっ
Sir?
さて、大鳥隊員に長倉軍属、
Now what do we have
そして
here?
港影明か。
Captain Otori Kanai, Nagakura Sayo, and of course Minato Kageaki. Kageaki?
どうやってここへなんて聞くだけバカらしいな。
I won't bother
どう
asking
して
how
なん
or
てのは
why.
なおさらか。
I think I already know.
あら、決めつけはよろしくありませんことよ、キャノン中さん。人生は意外性の連続ですもの。
It never does jump to conclusions, sir. Life is full of surprises. Captain's banter has a purpose. She's stalling, trying to run out the clock, but while I worked with the honest soldier, I doubt the colonel would be so accommodating.
まあそうだな。じゃあ意外性に期待してみるか。
Surprises, I guess you're right. Let's see if you can surprise me then.
お三方、ご来船の目的は？
It brings you fine ladies and gentlemen aboard.
朝の散歩に、たまには空でというのも一興かと思い立ちまして。
Oh, we were out for our morning walk and felt the sky would make a nice change of pace.
それは健康的なことだ。しかし、大して面白くもなかったろ？
A robust constitutional. Very good, miss, though I'm afraid I can't offer much entertainment here.
これから面白くする予定ではありませんの？中さん。
Really? But I heard there'd be fireworks.
どういうことかな？
Fireworks?
花火大会をなさるんでしょ？
Oh, yes.
風の噂で耳にしましてよ。
A little bird told me.
風の噂か。ジョージ、天国から見てるか？お前さんが江ノ島でくたばっちまって以来、うちの課の情報管理はこんなざまだよ。
The colonel turns his eyes upwards. Hey, George, you seeing this? Operational security my ass, huh? Bet you'd never have let this happen.
花火ね。確かにでかいやつを一つ撃ち落とす予定だが。
Fireworks, he continues, once more addressing us. Well, you're right. We're planning quite the show.
見たいなら事前に申し込んでほしかったな。せっかくの客だ。こっちだって最高の席を用意して差し上げたいが、急に来られちゃそうもいかない。
I would have saved you the best in the house.
客人に礼を書くのは紳士の恥ってものだ。
I'm afraid we're all full up.
比例はこちら。どうかお気になさらず。それに私どもは見物に参ったわけではありませんし。
We didn't come to watch.
おお、他に何か目的が？
Oh, then why'd you come? The colonel responds with perfect surprise, but I don't need to be a mind reader to see that it goes no deeper than the muscles of his face.
実は花火に水をかけてしまおうかなと思いまして。
Yes, your fireworks, actually.
このように。
As you can see, she indicates me with a wave of her hand, and seeing that I stand poised to strike it, the colonel lets out a cry of dismay.
おいおい、勘弁してくれ。そんなことをされたら、せっかくの花火が使えなくなってしまうじゃないか。
Oh no, you'll ruin everything.
そうしたいんだと申し上げたら？
What if I told Death precisely what I want?
なんてこった。君は理解者だと信じていたんだがな。
Here, I thought you understood.
そうですね。少なくとも完全な反対はしておりませんでした。けれど、考えが変わってしまいましたの。
My thoughts on the matter changed.
どんな風にだい？
How so?
John Bull, go home.
John Bull, go home.
エクスクリュージョニズムなんて流行らないぞ。
Exclusionism is a little passé, don't you think?
来るだけなら歓迎もできますけれどね。土足で踏み込んだ挙句に表札まで書き換えるつもりのお客さんには笑顔を向けるのも限度がございましてよ。
You're welcome to visit, of course. It's when you tramp in with muddy shoes and try to change the name on the door that our smiles turn aside.
しかしそれはあなた一人の決意ではないな、レディ。誰かにそそのかされたんだろう。
Someone seduced you into betraying me?
そこの彼かな？君の笑顔を俺から奪った憎いやつは。
Was it him? Was he the one who turned your smile away?
ご明察。でも、そそのかしたなんて人聞きの悪い。私と影明様は真実の愛で結ばれておりますのよ。
Very good, sir. Though seduced makes it sound so lurid. Kageaki and I are very much in love.
騙される女はいつも同じことを言う。
That's what every woman says who's been seduced.
そうですね。
True, true.
確かに。うん。
なんでこんなところで揃って同意？
You all have to agree.
貴婦人、君の要望はできうる限り聞き入れよう。俺は強量な男ではないつもりだ。こちらへ戻ってくる気はないか？
I'm not a petty man. I'll make whatever concessions I'm able. So won't you please come back, my lady?
未練でしてよ、中さん。女の気持ちは移ろいはしても過去に戻りはしないものなのです。
My dear Colonel, if there's one thing you should know about ladies is that we may move on, but we never turn back.
それが殿方との違い。
And that's where we differ from men.
なんてことだ。もう取り返しはつかないのか。
There's no hope.
許しがたい男だな。港影焼。決闘を申し込むしかなさそうだ。
Seems I'll have no choice.
さて、白手袋はどこへやったか。
Now where'd I put my dueling glove? I met the Colonel's theatrics with silence. There's nothing to say. Words are meaningless. Even the Otori pair has ceased to participate in this farce. The same question is on everyone's mind. Why?
引っ張れるのはここまでか。
Hell, I guess playtime's over.
だがま、十分だろう。君らにここから脱出するだけの力があったとしても、今からではどうにもならない。
Okay though, I dragged it out long enough. Now even if you break through this line, it won't make any difference. The Colonel shrugs. Why did he let us buy time? He must have known we were hoping to stall until the bomb could no longer be dropped. He should have used any means to secure it, not engage us in ridiculous banter. There's only one explanation. Time was on his side all along.
さよ。
Sayo?
魚座は運勢上り調子とあったのですが。あ、そういえば、ヤギ座は運気絶滅でございました。
And Aries. Their forecast was doomed.
まさか。
自分です。
So. Understanding's come too late. The window for action is past, and so there'll be no second chance.
君らはいいところに目をつけた。だが、ほんの少したどり着くのが遅かったな。
I'm impressed you found it, but if you'd been a little faster, who knows? The Colonel's smile is not one of triumph, at least. It seems the praise is sincere.
それはザ・ガジェットの保管機だ。もう空っぽの。
That's the forged bomb's containment cell. It's empty now.
中身はすでに船を出た。
The bomb's gone.
君たちは
Sorry, but
間に合わなかったんだ。
It's over. Ooh, you got played. We got played. Nice. I mean, if the guy's intentionally using flowery speech and stalling, clearly he's down with it, but that's still fun. I wonder if Ginsego actually dies to the nuke. That'd be funny. Ginsego's here. Mido? What is it?
いかがした？空より来たる。
Something's coming.
力のたまり。
The ultimate power. Or she absorbed the nuke with gravity? You dare? You dare? You dare defile Hikaru? Wow, that's a nice looking explosion. Damn, they said we'd be safe here.
ウォルフ教授、危険です。何かに捕まってください。
そんな爆発
The bomb
してしまった。
exploded.
神よ。神よ。
My lord, why?
あなたは
Why do you
遠い。
forsake me? It exploded, early? Due to Ginsego?
なんなんだよ。
What the hell is
なん
that?
だってんだよあれは。
南無阿弥陀仏、南無阿弥陀仏。
Amida, protect us. Fudaraku, it's gone.
城がねえ。
大鳥中将。これはいかなる。これはいかなる。
長倉の沖縄がヤニワに連絡をよこしてきた時はまさか。
Not her, that old bastard. I didn't believe him at first, but to think.
やってくれたな。この大和の大地に。
Those miserable swine. Look what they did to us. Yamato.
シシク、説明をせよ。
Shishku, explain it once.
国内で
My lord.
そなたは世をさらい、城より連れ出した。そしてこの市議、
You barged into my chambers and take me from the castle, and now this?
あれもそなたの仕業なのか。フダラクを幕府を滅ぼさんとしてか。
This you're doing? Have you betrayed Rokuhara?
まことそのような疑念をお持ちならば殿下
If you believe that your grace
今
strikes
この
the
場に
head
て
from my shoulders this
我が
instant.
首をはねられよ。
ならば
進駐軍どもの仕掛けしことにございます。
Oh, the Western is your grace.
だと
GHQ?
フォージドボムと申す新型兵器のよし。奴らはこれにて六原を一掃し、この国を奪わんと企てたのでありましょう。
He used a new weapon, the forged bomb, I'm told. A weapon that could destroy us and conquer Yamato in a day. And it's too late, we're finished.
しかし、
They failed your grade.
奴らは仕損じました。
Failed?
我ら六原の主、
You still
足
live?
利城国氏殿下は、
The
こ
Shogun's
こ
here?
殿下の将、四宿はこれにあります。六原100万騎が最精鋭。方向州並びに馬屋州も付き従っております。
Together with his general, his personal guard, and the Yumaya Shu, the best of Rokuhara.
さらに我が騎下、笹川軍が健在でございます。
As long as Sasagawa stands,
六
Rokuhara
原
won't
は
fall.
滅びておりませぬ。殿下、この四宿、必ずや御身をいただき、剣道頂戴いたしまする。
Man, this is like the least secret plan of all secret plans. Fucking everybody who was opposed to it knew about it. Well ahead of time. Incompetent GHQ. How did they conquer the world with competence like this? Like, fucking everybody who wouldn't have wanted the bomb to explode not only knew about it, but already moved out of the way. And you're telling me they conquered the world, but like they haven't done anything competently either. I don't know what's dumber, Rokuhara or GHQ sometimes, man. They haven't finished conquering the world. They're just most of the way to it. They're in a Cold War with Russia. But yeah, maybe they purged all the competent people. I don't freaking know, cause yeah, that was easy for everyone opposed to them to solve. All right. The only halfway competent general is perfectly fine, as are all his forces and the shogun. So like this guy's just sitting pretty, doesn't care. Like the Doshin isn't exactly competent, so you know, whatever. Not a great loss for the country. Neither is the shogun's cousin. Not exactly a paragons of leadership. So more power is consolidated under this guy, who's apparently the only serious and competent general they have. Seems alright for the country.
故にどうか、
I beg of you.
一時の恥辱を耐え忍び、我が元に御身を預けられませ。
Place yourself under my protection.
そなたの両国へ
You
落
wish
ちよ
me
と
to
申すの
seek
だな。
refuge in your domain?
はっ、
Yes.
今は合図。
We make for Aizu. That's why we're at a train station. Understandable. Oh? Scene change? Why did we even have that pop up? Winter is late in Aizu this year. Already it's early December. The month of frost by the old calendar, but the lonely trees have not yet felt the kiss of snow. Our host assures us it's not the norm. Do I count myself lucky? Perhaps I should. Without its patina of white, this majestic garden, though surely worthy of a house which served Otori for centuries, lacks a certain luster. The snow, I'm told, is what truly brings out the beauty of the northern climes. Alas, the heavy winter clouds remain encamped on the horizon, and I wonder whether it's the ocean wind that kept them at bay or the baleful heat of the men who've gathered here. The cold, too, has been slow to encroach. It'll be some time yet before I go looking for a kotatsu beneath which to slumber. Before hibernation takes me, what will I accomplish? The question is not mine to answer.
お客人、
Good afternoon, sir.
昼寝は済まされましたのかな？
Have you taken
これ
lunch?
は長倉を。昼なら先ほど十分に。
Sir Nagakura, yes, thank you. It was
あ
excellent.
の柿の浸し物は絶品でした。どうか厨房の方に感謝をお伝えください。
The boiled persimmon was particularly delicious. Please give my compliments to the chef.
伝えましょうぞ。今年は見知らずガキの出来がようございましての。
I shall. He was terribly
板
excited when
前
he saw
も
this year's
腕の
crop.
振るいがいがあるようです。
Persimmons of Aizu are still the finest in Yamato. The old man smiles, bright and toothy. He seems a joyful sort, not at all the bold patriarch who granted us shelter from the armies pursuing us. I wouldn't want this man for an enemy.
あれが名高い献上書き。帝のご掌番に預かれるとは光栄の至りです。
It's easy to see why the Emperor chose them for his table.
気に入っていただけたなら、晩にはまた思考を変えて出してくれるよう言っておきましょうかな。
Why, if you like them that much, perhaps we can arrange for a
客人。
different presentation for dinner. By the way,
どちらに参られますのかな。
where were you headed, if you don't mind my
も
asking?
しや、
Lady
家内
Kanai's
様
room,
のお
perhaps?
部屋へ。
We've had like a time skip, and we're hanging out in Aizu with the Rokuhara General's forces? Alright.
そのつもりでした。
I was hoping to look in on her.
そうだの。
Well, it should be alright.
もうよろしかろう。しかし、少々時間を潰してからになさりませ。
Do wait a moment before going, though.
かなえ様はまだ昼寝を終えられておらぬと思いますで
I
の。
believe she's still taking her lunch.
そうですか。
Of course, I'll wait until she's finished.
何度も追い払った挙句にまた待ちぼうけを食わせて
I should apologize for turning you away these past few days.
とんでもない。相手に迷惑をかける見舞いなど見舞いではありません。
Not at all. I'm grateful.
いち
One
いち
should
ご忠
never
告を
visit
くだされ
before
た
the
こと
patient's ready.
ありがたく思っております。
いやいやい
Thanks for
や
understanding.
そのように言われては恐縮。
お庭を歩かせていただくことにしましょう。
I think I'll take a walk to the
食事
garden.
を急ぎすぎたのか。
I may have eaten
い
too
ささか
quickly
胃
and
の
it might
心地が
help
悪い
to
ので。
settle my stomach.
そういえば
But you
随
mentioned
分
you
と
finished
早い
rather。quickly. Yeah.
豪華風ですかな。
Does it run in the family?
いえ、別
Not
だ。
as such. It wasn't a conscious
普段
decision.
では無意識に戦場の心得が現れましたのかな。
Subconscious then, a custom of the battlefield?
そうかもしれません。
Perhaps.
いつ何時敵に襲われるか知れぬとあらば食事にのんびり時間をかけるなど自殺行為も同然ですからの。
Understandable.
箸
One
が
would have to
早
be
ま
a
るの
fool
は
to
当
take
た
their
り
time eating
前。
while under threat of attack.
しかしご安心召されるな。
The
当
danger
家
to
が
us
進
remains
駐軍の
distant.
シャツ腹に取り巻かれるようなことは
For
当
now.
面まあ
おう、それは。
You're certain, sir?
全国物見が戻ってまいりましてな。国境の養路は四宿目の手勢でアリの這い出る隙間もなく固められているとのこと。
I just had a report from our scouts. Shichiku's men fill the passes into Aizu like ants scurrying to the service of their queen.
大軍を起こさねば突破は叶いますまいて。
It'll take a mighty army to break through their defenses.
無論のこと、そうした事態は遠からず出退いたしましょうがの。
The Westerners will assemble
今
such
し
force
ば
in
ら
due
く
time.
はご懸念に及ばず。
We'll have peace.
か。
Understood. The old man's words bring to mind the events of the past several days. One thing is certain, sooner or later Aizu will become a battleground. Well, you made it happen. It's the result you wanted, right? Ultimately, our mission was a failure. The bomb fell, Fudaraku was destroyed, but not everything went as Colonel Cannon planned. The shockwave from the explosion reached us, tossing the airship like a leaf in a storm. As the Colonel would only have dropped the bomb from a safe altitude, I can only assume something went wrong, a malfunction, or perhaps some outside factor whose nature I cannot guess. The damage was severe, as the airship's pilot made an emergency landing. Captain Otori and I escaped. Our reprieve didn't last long, however, as the Colonel's men pursued us relentlessly. Days of brutal fighting passed until at last we reached the borders of Aizu, where General Otori Shishiku had organized Rokuhara's last defense. Oh, is it days of brutal fighting? You literally can't kill anybody. Later, the captain told me she'd gotten word to him through an intermediary of GHQ's impending attack. This warning allowed him to escape the destruction together with the bulk of his forces. Our pursuers turned back rather than face the armies of Sasagawa. We, meanwhile, sought refuge in the Nagakura household, the home of Captain Otori's maidservant. Thus, what I most feared has not come to pass. The bomb fell, but Rokuhara still has a leader. Otori Shishiku, a figurehead, Ashikaga Kuniuji and an army strong enough to hold the invaders back. Rumor has it that more fighters, including others who survived Fudaraku, arrive in Sasagawa each day, and Yamato hasn't become a puppet of the West. Which isn't to say the Colonel's machinations were in vain. The bomb dealt a massive blow to Rokuhara and earned GHQ no small measure of acclaim. However, they're not yet in position to take Rokuhara's place. Not and keep what goodwill they've earned, which is of course their goal. First, they have to prove their superiority conclusively by stamping out the still hot embers of Rokuhara's power. And that means one future at least is assured, a future of blood for the people of Aizu. It's only a matter of time. Well, that's fine. If you take like 3/4 of the country without any losses, that's pretty good. Who is it?
失礼、港です。
Pardon, it's me.
態
I
度
thought
の
I'd
お見
look
舞い
in
い
on
た
the
したく
captain.
参上しました。
I'm sure she's fine.
おお、これは良いところへ。
What excellent timing, sir.
どうぞお入りくださいまし。
Please come
お
in.
嬢様、港様が参られましたよ。
Oh, mistress, he's here.
ん
I've entered the room to find Captain Otori laid out on the bed, her cheeks sunken and pale.
態度の
Captain?
あ、影明様、来てくださったの
Darling,
ね。
you're here.
ようございましたな、お嬢様。きっと一途な思いが天に通じたのでございましょ
Your
う。
prayers have been answered.
ええ、よかった。
So glad to see you.
最後に
Time.
こうして
何をそのように
You
お
shouldn't
気の
say
弱
those
いこ
things.
と。こちらに座っても構いませんか。
Yeah, sit here.
どうぞど
Or
うぞ。
bring a cushion.
座布団をお出ししましょう。
お気遣いなく。
自分の体のことですもの。自分が一番わかってましたよ。影明様だって本当はお分かりでしょ。
My body, I think I know it best, and you can see it too, can't you? The light leaving my eyes?
ほ
Captain?
おいたわしや、お嬢様。茶受けは天ぷらまんじゅうでよろしいですか、
Would you
港
like some
様。
tempura manju with your tea, sir?
天ぷら
Tempura manju?
私の命が
It
尽
won't
き
be
るま
long
で
for now. I'm fading.
もう幾ばくもありません。
お戯れを。
You just.
伝統ある会津名物でございます。
It's Aizu's tradition, actually.
冒険心旺盛な菓子屋のチャレンジング新商品ではなく、
You mean it's not the work of some insane baker with too much time on his hands?
会津松平家の初代正行公まで遡る歴史がございます。
A tradition going back to Hoshina Masayuki himself.
冗談でこんなこと
You
言
think
え
I
る
would
と
joke
思い
about something like this?
冗談では。
And it's true.
冗談のような真実でございまして。
Some truths are stranger than fiction.
あの庭木をご覧になって影明
Alex,
様
please. You see that tree? Look, out in the garden.
木あの落葉樹が何か。
You mean the one bare of leaves?
葉が一枚残っていますでしょ。
Still one left.
はい。
I see it.
300年以上も昔に信州で考案され、高遠の領主であった正行公の会津威風とともにこの地へ伝えられたとか。
It said Lord Masayuki invented the tree while he was ruler of Shinshu.
あの最後の葉が落ちた時きっと
When the leaf falls,
私も死ぬのです。
my life will end.
なので信州にも全く同じ菓子が伝統料理として伝わってい
And
る
this
の
means
で
you can
す。
find them in Shinshu as well.
まさか。
Impossible.
世の中はまこと油断ならぬものでございます。
There are more things in heaven and earth, sir.
信じていただけないのは当然ですけれど、
I know it's hard to believe, but
で
it's
も
true.
私あの弱々しい一枚の葉は
At least the fragile thing
私の
is me.
命そのもの。 今にも落ちてしまいそう。
I could fall at any moment.
しまいそうというか。
Just now, it.
今。
さあ、港
Here you
様、
are.
お
Sir.
召し上がりくださいませ。
Any moment I could die. It just did. It just fell. Here you are.
ではいただきます。
Thank you.
なんとも。
A most
独
unusual
特。
flavor.
ご無理をなさらず、お茶を使ってくださって結構でございますよ。濃いめに入れておきましたから。
Here, have some tea to wash it down. I won't feel insulted. I made it extra strong for the occasion.
いえ、
Yeah.
慎重に味わってみると。
It's starting to grow on me.
影焼様、お別れの時が来てしまったのですね。
They're just completely ignoring her. Oh, darling, it's almost time to say goodbye.
最後のお願いを聞いてください。
Did you hear my last request?
今、電光のごとき速さで庭を飛び出して葉を元通りにして、また駆け戻ってこられませんでしたか？
Did you not just dash to the garden like a bolt of lightning, replace that leaf, and return to your bed? What a beautiful dream.
夢のようなことをおっしゃらないで。
港様、もはや今のお嬢様はそのような励ましの言葉さえ辛いのでございます。
Sir, you
まんじゅう
mustn't
の
give
お
her
かわり
closer.
はこちらでございます。ああ、神は何故お嬢様にこのような仕打ちを。
Open to the manju instead. Why must she suffer so?
いただきます。舌が慣れてくると、なかなかうまい。
Now that I'm used to the texture, they really are quite good.
どうか、影焼様、あのまんじゅう、いえ、あの葉が落ちてしまう前に、私の願いを。
Darling, please, before that manju or leaf falls, hear my last request.
もう今にも私の命が
It hangs by a
全
thread.
然落ちそうにないのですが。
It appears quite firmly attached, actually.
戻すとき、風in接着剤で貼っつけておられましたからな。台風でも来ない限りはあのままでございましょう。
A typhoon wouldn't budget.
影焼様、
Take pity on me,
どうか
darling.
こんな私を憐れんでくださいまし。
哀れむなどと。
I couldn't.
愛してくださらなくてもいいの。ほんのわずかなお情けだけで。
I'm not asking you to love me, just have a little
そ
compassion.
れとも影焼様のお胸の内には
Is there a tenderness in your heart?
愛情が終わりですの。
I like the part where she is trying to go on like this. I could die any minute, like this leaf on this tree, and then it blows off. So she gets another one and glues it, and is trying to do the same gimmick without any interruption at all.
愛情。
A tenderness.
私を
You
愛してくださるお気持ちが。
ありません。
dies.
あ、落ちましたな、葉。
お茶をもう一杯いただいてもよろしいでしょうか。
Could I trouble you for more tea?
どうぞ。
Certainly.
少し濃すぎましたか。
Perhaps a little too bitter?
いえ、構い
No,
ません
it's。perfect.
影焼様、この哀れな女の
She's still
最後の願
trying.
いを。どうか。
Darling, please, before that leaf falls, hear my last request.
そこまで巻き戻るのですな。
I feel we've covered this ground.
自分に何か大井殿のためにして差し上げられることがあるのでしょう
Is
か。
there something I can do for you, Captain?
あります。
Yes, something only you can do.
影焼様にしかできないこと。
それは
What might
ど
that
の
be?
よ
どうか聞いてもお笑いにならないでね。
Please, promise you won't laugh.
決して。
I promise.
今はの際とはいえ女の身でこんなことを殿方にお頼みするはしたなさは
I'm afraid for a woman to ask
身が
this, even
縮
on
み
her
ます。
deathbed.
お嬢様、勇気を。
Be strong, mistress. I know.
影焼様。
はい。
Yes.
ん？天ぷらまんじゅうがあと2個だけ余っておりますな。港
There's
様、
two manju
よろし
left.
かったら食べてしまってくださいませ。
Did you care to finish
あ
them?
りがとうございます。
I would, thank you.
私の命があるうちにあの
Before
ま
I
んじゅう
die.
が落ちる
Before this manju fall.
もう落ちてますよ、お嬢様。
Too late.
いえ、落ちていません。
I haven't touched
前にお
them.
願いです。
Please.
おや、先ほど確かに。
Are you certain I could have sworn?
落ちたのは
Oh, that was
どうか最後
all
に
your strength.
影焼様の手で
まんじゅうが。
The manju,
歯です。
the leaf.
この10銭玉3枚縦に積み重ねてください。
Stand 3 10 yen coins, edge on edge.
かしこまりました。
As you wish. What? He did it?
すげえ。
Holy shit.
この技は修行しましたから。
I've had practice.
なんで
Why?
妹が得意だったので、つい張り合ってしまいました。
My sister and I often competed to see who could stand more.
おかしいですよ、ご兄弟。
What's wrong with you people?
ちなみに妹は10枚いけます。
囚人だ、勝てる気がしない。
And this is who you're fighting?
とりあえず落ち着きましょう、お嬢様。お茶をどうぞ。葉っぱも1個余っております。
I've added an extra leaf?
ええ、
How thoughtful.
いただこうかしら。
お元気そうで安心しました。
Glad you're well. Now are we still... Where is our plot going now? Where is our plot going? After she removes her stage makeup, the captain looks the very picture of good health. Her rosy skin reports plainly she has no need to lie abed.
少々
Must say I'm a
お
little
元気に過ぎる気も
surprised.
しますが、
ですかしら。
Surprised?
銃弾を受けて幾日も経たぬお体とは思えません。
You were shot, Captain, and only a few days ago?
当たりどころが良かったのでしょうね。
Then I suppose I was lucky. Miss Nagakura is out, leaving the two of us alone in the bedroom. The air carries no antiseptic bite. There's no sign a doctor was even here. Whatever treatment the captain underwent, it must have ended before today. Frankly, surprising is an understatement.
もともと急所を外していたのは存じていましたが、
I was aware your wound wasn't critical, but still.
生まれ故郷に戻ったからかもしれません。別にそれほど教習を覚えていたわけではないのですけれど。
Can't
戻
say
っ
I
てみ
missed
る
it
と、
too
や
dearly, but
っ
there is
ぱり
something
水や空気が体に合うのは感じます。
taste to the air.
ご飯も美味しいですし。
Food's as delicious as I remember.
なるほど。
I suppose
確
that
かに
might
そう
be
い
the
った
trick.
ことは大きいでしょう。
明日にはもう元通り動けると思います。
I should be up and about tomorrow.
何よりですが、ご無理はなさらぬよ
Please don't strain yourself. I am relieved, though.
う。安堵しました。面会謝絶と伺った折は肝を冷やしましたが。
When they told me you weren't receiving visitors, I was
あ
worried.
れは闇姿をお見せして無用のお気遣いをさせてはと私の方からお願いしてそう計らってもらったのですけど、
Oh, I
う
didn't
ま
want
く伝わらなかったみたいで、
you to see me when I was bedridden. I thought it would make you worry, but it seems I had it
い
backwards.
たずらに心配をおかけしてしまいました。
Sorry, eh?
申し訳もありません。
I should have
影
made
明
my
様。
intentions more clear.
いえ、大義。
Please, Captain, don't
謝罪な
apologize.
ど、全くそもそも。大義殿のお怪我は
Anyone
自
should
分の不
apologize
覚か
to
ら。
me. Your wound.
しかし、
Your wound. Your wound. Your wound.
大義、侍従殿。
Captain, ma'am.
守備はいかがで？
I went to battle, sir.
異論なく、敵の移動手段をすべて破壊
As
し
well
ま
as
した。
could be hoped, I destroyed their
増援の到
vehicles,
着は大幅に遅延するはずです。
and this should slow their progress.
では今のうちに那須から白川へ抜けてしまいましょう。
You take this opportunity to make for
こ
Shirakawa.
の辺りの安全は
Is the road through Nasu safe?
確保したとはあいにくながら、早
Safe's
々
not
に
the
移
word
動
I'd
した方が
use.
よろしゅうございます。
Let's move quickly.
了解。
Understood.
大義殿、
Captain? Get down!
お嬢様。
Mistress! Oh no!
大義殿、
Captain,
あの
please
よ
don't
う
do
な
that
ことを
ever
なされて
again.
は困ります。
お困りになる？
はい。
Risk your life for mine?
お命を無価値に扱われてはなりません。今後はどうかご自
Your
重を
life
願
is
います
worth.。Please treat it accordingly.
無価値。
はい。
Yeah.
私の振る舞いは
Was what I
価値の
did
ないこ
without
と。
ありません。
Yeah. Yes, it was. According to Kageaki, at least.
ご自重を。
You understand?
逆だっ
If
た
it had
ら、
been me.
は、
I'm sorry.
立場が逆だったら影明様はどうなさいました？
If I'd been in danger, would
私
you
を
abandon
いいえ。
me? Never. I'd never abandon you, my dear.
我が力の及ぶ限り、
I would have
大
done
義殿
everything
をお
in
救
my
いすべ
power
く
to
働
save
いた
you.
かと。
I see confusion on her face and feel it mirrored on my own. Clearly, there's some disconnect.
それは理に合わないのではなくて、
Don't you think that's illogical?
お言葉ですが、全くの合理と心得ます。
If I might be blunt, it's perfectly logical. Oh, do explain.
どうして？
And how so?
ご承知の通り、
Does he know best?
自分は大尉殿の御手で裁かれるべきもの
I
で
have a
す。
duty to die by your
自分
hands.
が大尉殿をお救いするな
I
らば
have a
筋を
duty
通
to
りま
protect
す。
you until that day comes.
しかし逆では
The reverse
通
does
る
not
筋が
hold.
ありません。
それは、
Yes?
私は聖人でも神の御使いでもなくてよ。
I'm not a
影
saint.
焼様。
You have to know that.
存じております。
Of course.
軍人として働き、多くの命を奪いました。
I've killed many.
さようでありましょう。
I don't doubt it.
軍以外の場所でも、殺めた人の数は影焼様よりも多いかもしれません。
Not only on the battlefield, I may have killed even more than you.
あるいは
Perhaps.
そんな私が影焼様に比べて上等だなんてことがありますかしら。
Indeed, what does make you better?
上等下等はともかく、大尉もまた罪業深き方とお見受けします。
It's not a question of who's better. You have your crimes as well. I do.
いずれ罪の報いを受けられましょう。
And then one
すでに
day,
お覚悟の通り。
you may answer for them as you no doubt accept.
しかしそれは自分などをかばってのことであってはなりません。決して。
なぜ？
Can't pay by saving my life. Why not?
大尉殿は己の手で冥府へ落とした人々が今ここに立ち現れたとして、
If you were to encounter the ghosts of everyone you killed,
彼らの顔を正面から見返すことができますか？
would you be able to look them all in the eye?
ええ。
Yes. She answered without pause. I nod and continue.
無力な老人を殺したことは終わりですか？
Have you ever killed a sick old man?
いいえ。
No?
痛いけな子供を殺したことは、
An innocent child?
いいえ。
No.
身体に障害を負い
A helpless
Ar-
invalid?
ありますまい。
No. However,
自分は
I have.
すべて経験があります。
All three. Surely she must see now the void that separates
で
us.
すからよろしいか、大尉。
And that is why, Captain, this is how it must be.
あなたは武人として相応の死をお迎えください。自分は卑劣漢として相応の死を遂げます。
You're a warrior and I'm a vermin. We must each meet an end befitting our
間
station.
違っても
Therefore, I
今
ask
後
you
は
once
自
again,
分などのためにお命を危うくされませぬ
do
よう
not risk your life for my sake. Okay. Afterward, the captain hints he'd like to rest, so I pay my respects and leave. That's the end of that scene. Her music follows me down the hallways, the same tune as always. So why do I feel like something changed? William Burroughs was a proud and vainglorious man, but he's also a man terrified of failure. So when it came time to forge his armor, he created not a work by which his own worth would be judged, but a copy of the legend he hoped to supplant, the great William Tell. The man's named William, so he's like, I know who I have to surpass. Other people named William. Unfortunately, the knight Burroughs chose as his pilot lacked the talent to make use of his power, and thus when Burroughs, as his first act, sought to duplicate Tell's most iconic feat, his arrow pierced the apple of his volunteer's throat instead of the apple on his volunteer's head. Well, that's unfortunate. This volunteer, as it happened, was Burroughs' own wife, so it's easy to see why history judges Burroughs as the worst of his kind, a forgery to revile beyond any other, but to Hattori Kanai, those condemnations mean nothing. Ever since she became his second master, Burroughs had never once failed her. His melody has always been in tune with her desires, and on the battlefield, of course, but also on the stage. Perhaps these two were meant for each other, a monstrous weapon for a monstrous heart. Only now, no matter how her fingers move upon the strings, she can't coax the instruments to sing the notes she needs. The melodies crumble, the rhythms fall flat, and discord crawls like a worm through her brain. She feels her frustration mounting, most of all because she knows where the fault lies. Something's changed, not in her tools, but in the fingers that wield it, the nerves that command them. She thinks back to the exchange that only just ended. All throughout the conversation, it felt as though she were speaking to herself and questioning her own beliefs. His words were the words she would have spoken, and indeed had more than once. No wonder the poor man was confused. Her law demands she take his life, that she see justice done, the balance restored. That's how the world must be. But then why did she save him? To kill him herself? But she could have easily died, and then what? A millimeter to the left, and she would have been the fool who gave her life for her enemies. Why? Bloodshed's always been her passion. This is as much a part of her as the pride and duty which demanded her service, and why she became a soldier, to satisfy the noble and the killer in her both. And nowhere is the satisfaction greater than when fighting for revenge, to take what was taken, to balance the scales. What could be more righteous, more just? She avenged wrongdoings before, it's always brought her joy. Why now should she doubt her path, when at last the vengeance is hers? Because she killed his father, perhaps? But then why not tell him the truth, give him reason to hate her, to kill her as well? That would be fair. Then they'd fight, and the fates would decide whose vengeance is worthy. But she knows another ending is possible. That even the truth may not incite him to condemn her. If she reveals her guilt and he responds like that. If even then he blames himself, will she still claim her vengeance? Yes, she must. For vengeance is the law, and the law must be obeyed. Once more, Otori Kanai takes her weapon in hand. With her fingers on its strings, she closes her eyes and remembers her duty, her pride, and the bright glow of blood. And then she plays. The melody is perfect. Take vengeance, it croons. Vengeance, sweet vengeance. Take your vengeance, and to what end? For the first time in her life, the music will not come. Otori can't decide what she wants to do. She is as lost and meandering as this arc that also seems equally lost and meandering. The old woman knows the reason why. She knows the truth, that those whose hate runs deepest are the most susceptible to love. Her mistress, it seems, is no exception. And elsewhere, something else is happening. Something that might lead some cool action. But I'm not sure we're going to see that tonight.